You are now listening to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
My name is DJ Vince Adams. I absolutely appreciate what the Chicago Clubhouse crew is doing for the city of Chicago.
Hey, young world, what's good? It's your boy Bernard Varian, a.k.a. B Twice.
What up? This is Rasheed Davis, former Chicago Bear wide receiver.
Hey, my name is Lemuel Stinson, a.k.a. Lemonade, formerly of the Chicago Bears.
What's up? My name is C.J. Watson, former Bulls guard and bench farm creator.
This is two-time six-man all-star baller Ricky Deuces Pierce.
What's up, people? This is Chicago radio legend Rick Party, the voice you hear everywhere.
My name is Pee-wee from the movie House Party.
This is Megan Martinez from the Good and Plenty podcast.
Hey, this is Bubba Ball from the Shits podcast.
Hey, this is Nika from One Shot Wellness, Reverend from the ATL, dropping some drips on that Chi-Town Clubhouse podcast.
This is Sherry, and you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
You're now rocking with Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
Where they think they know everything.
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 But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit. But they really don't know shit. But they really don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But honestly, they don't know shit.
And I smell something. I smell something. I smell podcast. The Chicago Clubhouse Podcast Show.
They really don't know shit.
You already know what time it is.
You see this Eddie Jackson jersey right here? Take this.
This dude literally just took my soul.
So I didn't like playing with Brett Favre at all.
You could have waited until the draft if you wanted to look at another quarterback. You didn't have to sign Andy Dalton, who is really nothing but a backup.
Evander Holyfield is 58 years old. What you want to fight a 58-year-old man?
But man, he wants to keep fighting.
Because he want to fight him. Okay, it's an exhibition.
But yeah, it's an exhibition because
this ain't Drago and Apollo Creed, man. Ain't nobody about to.
Man, Martin and Tommy Hearns was an exhibition. You saw what happened to Martin.
This could hurt.
Thanks, Hayden. Nothing but the best.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, bro, tough for real, man.
Yeah, man. He like tougher than some grown folks I know, man.
That as a coach, your job is to give your players the best opportunity to have success.
Michael Jordan, when he came back at LeBron James' age, he was a straight up nothing.
That is blasphemy on his computer right now.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Without Dennis Rodman, I couldn't see them winning like they did those second three championships. I can't see it.
I agree.
And now I'm the voice of SportsCenter on ESPN. Now on SportsCenter. Tonight, LeBron James. And whatever.
Do you guys really coach how exactly to tackle correctly? Because I see it all over the league now. People cannot tackle like they did whenever you guys played. But do you guys practice tackling at all?
Welcome to the podcast where we think we know what we're talking about, but we don't really know shit. But today is a special edition of the podcast because and no, I'm not leaving, but I won't be on as often. And I'm gonna introduce my man who's gonna come on and not fill my shoes because he has his own shoes. And he got some big ass feet too. But my man Foul Mouth C.
What's up, T?
What's up with you, man?
Man, not much, man. Thank you for the intro. Sitting over here, got me a couple Twizzlers. a glass of chaser.
What's that? What you got?
Oh man, I got this this chaser called Pina Colada.
Oh shit!
Man, hey, it's
Pinky,
ridiculous.
that's a pinky drink.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, pinkies is up.
Right. Hey man, what's up with this heat wave we've been having?
I know, man.
It's been like 40 degrees. I
was outside today in some shorts.
Right.
Shorts and sandals on. Had my feet all out.
Man, ooh, you got some ugly ass feet, dog.
Hey,
I'm
man.
glad I ain't see that.
Man, hey, they needed some sun. They light as hell right now.
But yeah, we got a good podcast today, man. So not only are we introducing one person with a lot of gray hair, but we introducing another person that has more gray hair than me. Wow.
Yeah.
We've never had anybody with so much gray hair aside from you.
Hey, actually, I'm about to do the whole gray thing. I'm about to dye this part gray too,
You
man.
about to dye all of it?
Yeah, man. I just want to see how it look, man.
Just spend some more time with the wife or the girlfriend. It'll gray naturally. Don't even
Between
worry
that and
about
the kids, man. Oh yeah, it's coming.
So yeah, we got a great pod, man. We got Ervin Small,
Yes,
who
sir.
played for that Fighting Illini team. We have him coming in shortly.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk some Bulls. Man, they sliding down the razor blade into an alcohol river.
Hey, I got blasted for calling Billy Donovan an average to slightly above average coach. Now he's great in college. The NBA.
Wow. So all that time with the Thunder, that was just built by Steve Kerr.
And that time when he was with the Thunder, it was KD and Russ. I mean,
so Donovan ain't had nothing to do with it.
I mean, he had a little something to do with it. I mean, his winning percentage in the NBA is 55%. That's not good. It's not great. It's about slightly above average.
Wow. Okay.
But you should see his winning percentage in college. Way
So-
higher.
So we'll have a little basketball talk. Then, of course, we are going to talk about these effing Bears, man. We are going to talk about Georgie and Teddy and what the hell are they doing playing with each other's you-know-whats.
Yeah, just like the saying on the show goes, they don't know shit.
Yeah, they really don't know shit.
Nah,
man.
they don't know shit.
They really don't know shit. But yeah, so everybody get your drink. We are gonna open up the StreamYard for the chat. If anybody wants to come in, give an opinion, or they want to ask a question. 2 minutes. 2 minutes tops. But yeah, if you want to come in, we'll put the link in the chat, and you come in and say what you got to say. Speak your piece. But anyway, let me bring in the rest of the All-Star team. First up, my man, the stat man, JB.
What up, y'all?
JB?
What else up? What's the word? What up, T? What up, Chris?
What up, JB?
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, chilling. Got me a Twizzler.
Man, you know, it's Tuesday night. I'm feeling great.
Twizzlers.
Got me a little Remy
Tuesday
VSOP.
Twizzlers, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Then once we start getting into it, got me a little devil's cut. You know, I'm ready to go, bro. I'm ready to get it. Heard we talking B-ball tonight.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
I got me a full court press you might not want to miss.
Don't want to miss that full court press. So, let me introduce the next part of the All-Star team. X Factor. My man, AB.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's get it, boys. Illinois time.
I knew he was going to come in with
Irving playing Illini. Yeah, baby. You know me.
You know, AB was gonna come in with something, man.
Love the energy, AB. What's going on?
Man, we gotta make the highlight reel of AB just coming in like the referee coming in as that goofy ass bear. You remember that?
Oh,
Yes.
that's not going away. Trust me. Rufus is still here. He's on the ground right now. He's at Ruggs. I had to put him in his place for the year. He's in hibernation mode.
So U of I, man. Io went to U of I.
He did.
A lot of good players came out of U of I. Nick Anderson, Kendall Gill.
Yeah.
Deron Williams.
Yeah.
So a lot of good players came out of U of I, man. But one of the unsung heroes, Ervin Small, he's very unsung. He didn't get to the NBA, but if some of these dudes that was in the NBA, if they get there, I know for damn sure Ervin Small should have been in the NBA. But he might not have wanted to. But that's something that we can ask him when we talk to him. But he hasn't come yet. So I mean, I guess we can get into something else if you all want to.
Let's get it.
Maybe we can get into these Bears real quick.
Oh, absolutely. Like
what
Anybody
the
know what
fuck
they doing?
What is Georgie and Teddy doing? What are they doing?
So for one, if we just start off, hey Ma.
Hi Ma.
Hey Ma.
If we just start off,
Meatloaf.
if we just start off with, I've never seen this many people lined up. It's like they're giving free cheese, lined up to come to be the coach of the Bears. Like we're up to like 9 now. Some people that I just never thought they would have really, gave some true consideration to. They just coming out the woodworks.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe for any other team that would be a good thing, but for the Bears, I don't think that's a great sign because I don't want Ted Phillips and George McCaskey to have too many options. Because when you give them too many options, you see what happens. If you only give them one option, you see what happens. So we want to stay around that 4 to 5 range, But we can get back to that. We can get back to that.
Let's go ahead and get back to that, man. We our guest is here. Like I was saying, he was like the unsung hero at U of I. He did dirty work and didn't necessarily get the recognition that he should have, but he gonna get it tonight. God damn it, he gonna get it tonight. And I was also saying that we're gonna ask him if he wanted to go to the NBA because he damn sure should have been in the NBA. If you look at some of the players that was in the NBA, they were busters, man. Some of them were straight busters. So I know if they went to the NBA, Ervin damn sure could have been a star in the NBA. But let's go ahead and bring him in, Ervin Small.
We're gonna play it again.
How's it doing? How's everybody doing?
Let's go,
up, man.
Hey.
ILL, that's right. ILL.
Let's get it, baby. My guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you guys doing, man?
Man, doing great, Irv. How you feel, man?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, man. I can't complain, man. Doing well, man. If I was doing any better, I need a twin, man.
I know that's right, bro. I know that's right.
Yeah.
You're looking good, man. You're looking
Thank you,
good.
man. Thank you, man. I try, man. I try.
So
Hey, thanks
I thought
for adding
you were
some
gonna
more
have
gray,
more
too.
gray hair than me.
Yeah. Thanks for adding more great to the podcast.
I tried the beard, right? And man, it just wasn't me, man. So I had to go back to the old school goatee, man.
There you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with the goatee, brother.
I know, man. All the brothers now we trying to get beards, man. But
man, hey,
man, I said forget it, man. I had to go back to my goatee, man.
I can't even grow one, so I feel you.
Yeah, that is,
So I thought you were gonna actually have more gray than me, but I guess not. So that's good. You're looking good, though, man. You're looking real good.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So we want to just dive right into it, man. So we want to talk about your Simeon days.
Okay.
So What was it like playing on that team? You had your whole team was superstars.
Mm-hmm.
The whole team.
Well, I guess we'll start when I was a freshman. Originally I was at South Shore. A lot of people don't know that, but I started at South Shore, man. And I was at South Shore for probably like maybe 2 months, and I just couldn't do it. And I had played little bitty basketball with Coach Hamp. I don't know if y'all know who Coach Hamp is, Lonnie Hampton. He was the coach at Farron at the time. He had in grammar school, he had Deion Butler and a few more of the other guys who I played with in high school. But I had played with him. Marcus was on our team. We had a little team. We just used to go around just smashing people, man. You know what I'm saying? All around, like really like on the low end, you know? And so we was on there. We used to just smash folks. So I went home. I told my mom, because we had moved out east. But I'm from Inglewood. I'm from the Robert Taylor's there in Inglewood. And then we moved out east. And so I was like, man, I told my mom I can't do it. She was like, what? Can't nothing be worse than Inglewood, but people don't know about that east side, man. I was like, man, I can't do it. And so she was like, so what you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. So Coach Hamp came up to the South Shore, man, and my mom was at work. It was a single, my mom was a single parent, and Coach Hamp, and I tell people this, they don't believe me, but back then, man, Coach Hamp came and transferred me out.
Oh, he did the transfer.
He came and did it. You hear what I'm saying? My mom was like, I'm not transferring. I was like, she's like, how you gonna get to school? I was like, oh, I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I wound up like I was at Simeon. I was a Simeon. So man, it was, I'll be honest, I really wasn't that good when I was a freshman. I thought I was better than I really was, and I just refused, man, to allow people to outwork me. That was my main goal, man. You wasn't going you might have more talent than me, but you were not going to outwork me or outdo me. So I get to Simeon, and I'm playing on this freshman, sophomore team. We call it frost off. Back in the day it was frost off. And I'm playing on frost off. We did pretty good. I think we lost one game. And then my sophomore year, man, I put a lot of work in. In my going into my sophomore year. I stayed out to practice with the coach. I don't know if y'all remember Coach Stanton that was at Simeon, and then he went to Whitney Young, George Stanton. He coached Quentin Richardson.
Hey, I'm about to say he the one that won in '97.
Yeah. He was our frost-off coach.
Oh, okay.
And so he was our frost-off coach, man. He made me, man, they took me through some stuff, man. I used to have to shoot 500 bank shots from each block. I had to make 250 to go home.
Oh, jeez.
And I just mastered that bank shot. And then I started throwing jump hooks. And then I started throwing then I started working on my footwork. But I contribute a lot of my early success from guys like Bobby Tribble, Tim Bankston, Ben Wilson, of course. And them guys just, it was like, come on, man, you could do this, man. Don't get down, because I was starting to give up, and but I was like, man, I gotta get this right, man. So after that, we played we didn't lose no games my sophomore year. We played a city championship game, and we played against Crane. And Crane had Marcus. That's when Marcus Liberty was at Crane. They had Marcus. They had Joe Doherty. They had Tremel Murphy. They had a really good team, man. And man, Marcus just went berserk on us, man. Marcus went berserk on us, and that was the only game I lost as a sophomore. So that's how it kind of started. And after we lost, Hammer was going to bring some of us up onto the varsity team, and that's the year that Simeon won his first state championship. That's when Ben showed out. I mean, Ben just to be around him, man, and I know y'all probably gonna ask me some questions about him, but just to be around that guy and just to be in the same room with him, in the same gym with him every day, and he was just amazing, man. Not just as a basketball player, but as a person. I know a lot of people watch this documentary. They say, "Oh, he was this, he was that, arrogant." Nothing like that, man. Nothing like that at all. You know, and a really good guy, man. He just, you know, it's just crazy how that all happened. But that was the year that they won the state championship. So, you know, I could stop there, or I could keep going, or have you.
No,
guys
keep going, because
so then,
as long as you need.
So then, you know, I played for the legendary Bob Hambrick. So now I'm on varsity. So now I'm his now. So he's like, okay. So he said every morning, 7:30, I'm gonna pick you and Ben up. He had a 280 ZX. I'm 6'7", 6'8". Ben, I'm 6'6", 6'7". Ben 6'8", 6'9".
How did y'all fit that car?
Oh man, I'm being in the front with the seat all the way to the back. I'm laying across the back seat. He got a 280Z,
like this,
and we coming to Simeon every day in the summertime. He would work us out. He would work us out all day long, man. And so I'm working out with Ben Wilson, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just me, Ben, and Coach Hambrick. Nobody else in the gym, and we just working. And I mean, I started to see myself improve and get better. But I'm in a gym with the #1 player in the country, so I can't do nothing but get better. And his work ethic is starting to spill into me. And as it's spilling into me, I'm like, oh man. And he giving me all the confidence in the world, because I'm about to be his center. You know, I'm about to be his center. So he's like, man, when I do this, I'm gonna hit you, and you're gonna average more points than me. I'm like, man, are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, because everybody gonna be looking for me to score. Boom, boom, boom. And then he said, I got a surprise. So then that's when Nick was transferring in.
From Prosser that year.
So Nick was transferring in. So Hamrick would take us, we'd be at Simeon to about 2 or 3. We'll go get some lunch. Then he'll drop us off at Cole Park. That's where everybody played at back then, at Cole Park. They went up to Cole Park. So, and it was right up the street from Ben's house. So a lot of times I would just stay at his house, spend the night over there, stay with him, and then we'll get up in the morning. Hamrick could be right, bump, bump, and we off doing our thing, man. And so, you know, then we get into this summer league, and I mean, he goes to camp, he comes back, he's the #1 player in the country. Our team is like crazy. So we wind up playing in the Adidas tournament, the St. Benedict tournament up in Potawatomi Park, up north. We playing at Potawatomi Park, and this dude, he comes back from the camp, and it's like he's on a totally different level. Like, even before he went to camp, I knew he was good, but when he came back, it's just something about confidence in a brother. You know what I'm saying? You see a brother and he have his confidence, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? And it was, you know, to be a great athlete, man, you have to have a little arrogancy too. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a little arrogant in order to be a great athlete. And this dude, man, he just, I mean, it was amazing. I seen, and he was like, we played St. Mel. We played St. Mel. And Lowell Hamilton was #2 in the country. And I don't know what it was, but he just went crazy, man. He went crazy. And he was doing some stuff, and I was like, oh my God. And Hamrick was like, man, don't do that. That's your friend. You know, he was like, man, my friends got on this orange with me, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, so Ben was, man, he was a great guy. Like I say, he was a great guy. And then that's when the tragedy happened. We were the #1 high school team in the country that year. You know, we played for a strict coach, man. Coach Hambrick was a very strict. He was a disciplinarian. No talking to the media. We couldn't talk to the press. A lot of people don't know. We couldn't talk. We was in the USA Today as the #1 team in the country, and nobody got an interview. No.
Wow.
That was just his rule. He was like, we don't talk to the press. We don't talk. I'm sorry, guys. And he, regardless to who it was, and that's one of the things I liked about Coach Hambrick, regardless to who it was, or, you know, I didn't see him get on Ben. He said, man, I'd rather lose every game without you than to win them all with you, with your attitude, you know what I'm saying, with some of the things that he was doing. And he just got on everybody. There's no person that I've never not seen him be disciplined with. You know what I mean? And now that I'm older, I think about how much discipline that he inflicted on us and the way he treated us, and I can see why. I can see it's like your parents when you were younger. They were like, oh, don't touch the stove, don't do this, don't do that. But you know, now you know why not to do these things because but at 16, 17 years old, you're not listening to that, man. You're like, man, I want to talk to the media. I see King, man, them guys, they all flashy. They got all these nice warm-ups, all these Nikes, and he used to get shoes from Nike, bro. And he used to give us. He had a garage full of shoes. He would give us one pair of shoes. This is it. When that wear out, another pair. Or we got a big game, you get a pair. But he ain't just give us 2, 3, 4 pair of shoes at a time. That's just how he was. Just a disciplinarian. He made sure we went to school. He made sure that we was disciplined on the court. If you ever watched us play, you seen how we ran 4 corners. How we were doing stuff that colleges. When I got to Illinois, Lou Henson told Jimmy Collins, he said, these dudes ready. They already ready for college. The running, and we used to run, if you know where Simeon is, we used to run from Simeon all the way down to 79th Street. The whole team, from 79th all the way to the Fair Rhine, all the way back up Lafayette, across to 87 where the Walmart and all that is, and then come back to Simeon. That was a part of our,
get it.
That's what we did.
Wow.
And then when we get through with that, we go do all of our core sit-ups, push-ups. And when Simeon back then, man, that was an old Kroger warehouse. So we used to go in this thing called the boiler room. It was down in the basement. Hot as I don't know what down in there, man. We used to go down there and we used to be down there for an hour and a half. This was just preseason. So I was like, oh my God. But when we never got tired, we was able to press. He could call the press, full court, pick up, whatever. And we were just so disciplined, man. And I contribute a lot of my success to Coach Hambrick, man, because had not he could have gave up on me when I was a freshman. He worked with me, and he really liked me. I mean, generally, I could tell that he cared about me, maybe because my father wasn't in my life a lot. So he cared really genuinely, like, hey, man, you could do this, and so when he passed, man, it was like my father had passed away. So,
sorry for that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, man.
So that was my junior year.
Okay.
I know you guys want me to keep going?
Hey, you see, we all.
I'm trying to pause, man. I'll just finish with my Simeon days before I go to Illinois, and then then y'all can.
But next year, that was the elevation of Nick, if I'm not mistaken, and then you all was that Terry Sampson and them boys came up with y'all.
No, Terry was behind me.
Right, he was a junior, right?
Yeah, Terry's a year ahead of me. Terry was 85, I was 86.
Okay, so y'all crossed over just that 1 year.
He didn't play with us. He didn't play with us my senior year. My junior year, he didn't play on it. He wasn't on the team with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I keep going. So then that was my junior year. My junior year, Ben passes away. We had a game the day he passed away. Hambrick's such a disciplinarian. He don't want to let people down. So, and this is like a scrimmage, like, preseason. So I think we was playing Westinghouse or Marshall, somebody, but we wound up still playing in the game. And then we went to the Proviso East tournament and played the Proviso East tournament, which was legendary for Coach Hambrick to play in. To make a long story short, we wound up winning all of our games. We was number 1 team in the country. We won all of our games. We won the city championship. We played Carver, which would have been Tim Hardaway and Wade Jenkins and Caleb Davis, and we played them in the city. They came out, man. They had all these new warm-ups. They had Chicago. Back then, whoever wins city get to go downstate. It ain't like it is now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because every year would have been 2 city teams playing for the state championship if it was like, like it is now.
Yeah.
So they had Chicago, Carver. They just knew that they was going downstate, man, and we wound up beating them. We wound up beating them. But Tim put on the show, and so it it was good. Then we went downstate. We go downstate. We get downstate, and our first draw was Ed Horton and Springfield Lanford, and we wound up playing Ed and them, and we lost. We lost to Ed them. That would have been that completed my junior year, and then my senior year we came back. We were strong, man. We had my senior year, man. I thought that the team we had as a senior, my senior year was better than my team as a junior because Dion was ranked in the country. I was ranked in the top 100. Nick was ranked in the top 10 in the country. We had another guy named Alan Gordon. We had Mark Bradley. We had Kendrick Nunn, dad. Melvin Nunn was on our team. Wow. So we had another guy, Byron Young. We had a terrific team, and I thought that team was better than my junior year, and we winded up losing in the city championship, which was like one of my signature games as a senior because it was one of my best games. I actually got injured. Lavertus had elbowed me in the eye. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I had got elbowed in the eye. I had to get stitches right here. I had to get stitches during the game. So this was in the first quarter. I had like 14 points in the first half. Wow. So one of the guys we was warming up. One of the guys shoots the ball and shoots an air ball. And I just happened to look up. Here comes the ball, and bow, busts the stitches back open.
Oh no!
Oh man! So now they got my mom down there. She going crazy, blood everywhere. They take me in the back. So
my baby.
Yeah. I'm like, Mom, chill. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, man, just chill, just chill. So she's like, no. So they give me all stitched back up. I come back out. I wound up with like 23. We lost by 3 points to King. And I only played 2.5 quarters.
Oh, wow.
Man, what was that rivalry like with King, man?
You know what? Let me just tell you something. I think that was the start of it because King really couldn't beat us. You know, when Ben, the year that they won state championship, which would have been Ben's sophomore year, when we had Rodney Hull, Tim Banks, and Bobby Tribble, and that was 84. Those guys, we played King and Robeson, who had a really good team, to go to the city championship. But King had they had the best dressed team, man. I'm talking about, man. King was, I'm like, man, these dudes, and our coach Hamrick used to have us laced. Now we had sweats, we dressed alike. That's all the stuff. So when I got to college, me and Nick was used to that. Like, oh man, you gotta wear these warm-ups, you gotta be dressed alike. Some guy, I want to wear my own jeans and my mom. You wear what you dress as a team, man. You look apart, you know what I'm saying? And so when that whole thing with King, it became a really good rival later on. But I think that was the start of it. Because King did went down. They went downstate and won the state championship.
So were you and Marcus, were y'all the same year?
No, Marcus is a year under me. He's 87. But people don't know this, but my parents and Marcus' parents grew up together.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been knowing Marcus since toddlers.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. My birthday is November 3rd. His is October 27th. It's a year. It's a year apart, but my parents, my dad and his dad was friends back in the day. My mom and his mom knows each other really, really well. So we've been friends for a very long time, man. And it's hard when you got to go against your partner and your buddy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
When he left Crane and went to King, that's when I knew that was going to be something. That was going to be
yeah. But I think, his brother Durrell Stretch had transferred. And I think that's one of the reasons why Marcus left too.
Oh, okay.
No, because his brother was going. His brother had left Crane and went to King too. Mm-hmm.
So we had Marcus on here maybe A while ago, we had Marcus on the podcast.
Right.
And it's funny because Marcus said, couldn't nobody really beat King? But you just said, couldn't nobody really beat Simeon?
I'll put it like this right here. In my high school career, I lost 4 games.
Dang.
when I'm talking about 4 games, I'm talking about preseason. I'm talking about all of that. Preseason, postseason. I'm talking about really 4 games. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I'm in high school for 4 years.
Right.
I told you
4
my
years.
freshman year we lost 1 game. My sophomore year we lost to Marcus. I lost to Marcus twice. My sophomore year we lost to Crane.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only game we lost. My junior year we lost to Ed Horton, and my senior year we lost to King. So
wow,
I can count.
A year.
What was
you can't beat that?
What was the score? The score, Simeon and King. What was the score your whole 4 years?
Simeon, my 4 years, we only played King twice. One of them, I wasn't on the team. I was a sophomore, but they beat King in 84, and we lost to him in 86.
So 1-1. The whole time you was there.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody really got the best.
Now I don't know. Now Marcus, if he said nobody could beat King 1 year, I think 85. The year we played Carver for the city championship, they lost in like the first or second round of the CPS playoffs. Wow. And they still
that was like their first loss of the year.
Excuse me?
That was like their first loss of the year?
No. I don't know. They had lost a couple games. I think they had lost.
So they won that King team from the senior year.
Yeah, that senior year team was Marcus's senior year, which would have been 87. They was ranked number 1 in the country, but Marcus was the number 1 player in the country.
Right.
So everybody always compare. Well, who is better? I was like, him or Ben. Everybody asks that question. That's like the question I get asked the most. You know what I mean? That in the Final Four, like, man, y'all lose. If I had a nickel for every time, man, we lost. You know
I was going to ask you that question. No,
it happens. We'll get to that.
Hey, but anyway, so and I tell people, I say they had 2 different types of games. You know what I mean? Marcus was a lot of finesse, a little bit more finesse than Ben. But Ben could do things that Marcus couldn't do as a sophomore and a junior. You know what I mean? And so his persona, just how like, man, we used to walk in the gym, man. I thought we was rock stars, man. He'd be like, oh man, hey, there they go. I got there they go. Oh man, look at their shoes. Look at that. You know what I'm talking about? What? And Hammer used to be like, don't listen to that. Just keep walking. Of
course.
He's just trying to keep us focused, man, because we're a bunch of kids from the inner city of Chicago. And it's hard, man, to stay focused on the task that he had in hand. He seen the picture way before we did. He was the orchestrator. He put it all together. You know what I'm saying? And he did a great job putting the band together.
But wasn't that like, before we get to your college career, wasn't that like a telling time? Like YVI, you had Sonny Vaccaro coming to the city in the newspapers all the time. Like that kind of like put Chicago basketball from, I'll go back as far as Mark McGuire. Like that kind of like started really pumping y'all.
Yeah. And my senior year, going into my senior year, I went to the Nike All-American camp too.
Okay.
And man, it was just amazing. Like just to play against all these guys, Stevie Thompson, Scott Williams, Derek Coleman, J.R. Reed, these are the guys in my class. And just to play against these guys, I'm like, man, the talent level ain't that much different. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was, man, but we was at University of Princeton. That's what they had. They used to call it AFB, Athletes for Better Education. That was the name of the camp back then. It was AFB. And we had to go to school during the daytime, ACT prep, Then at nighttime, we played games, you know what I mean? And whoever was the highest ranking 2 players, they played on this center court. And then they had like a side court and another side court. So you played on those 2 side courts. But you know, and they had those breakaways back then that used to pop, pow. And every time you hear one of those, they be doing like this. And that was my first encounter with like really college coaches, like seeing John Thompson, you know, nodding at guys, and seeing Bobby Knight and Jim Boeheim and, you know, Dean Smith, and seeing all these. I'm talking about honestly, and I'm really not exaggerating. We had some of those games, man. We had 10,000 coaches in the stands.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
At 10,000 coaches in the stands. You know, coach would bring him and his 2 assistants, and I'm talking about everybody in the country was there. Well, we was the top 100 players in the country. You know, if you get a couple of these recruits, man, you could be the what Calipari is the basketball today. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
You know, but we had that group of guys. We had a good camaraderie, man. It was everybody got along. You know, we went to school and we went to we played basketball at night. You know, just so happened one night we was playing. I think I was playing on center court. I don't know who I was playing, but Rodney and Scooter McCray. I can't remember my coach, but I know he coached Rodney and Scooter in high school. He's from New York, and all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh!" And we playing. We don't even. And I look over on my bench, and who do I see sitting on my bench? Air Jordan.
Oh.
Mike showed up. It was nothing for all of those Nike guys to show up at this camp. Charles came. You know, if you were a Nike guy back then, if you wore Nikes, you pretty much, you know, they came. They scrimmaged with us. He scrimmaged with us and played in the game. All of that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so, you know, it was an amazing thing, man.
Yeah. So how was that? How was that whole experience? Playing a U of I with all these superstars.
Well, wait, T. Before that, let's ask him what made you choose U of
I. Man, okay.
That's my question.
Because I know you had some other options, brother. Come on now.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna tell you something. And I tell this story, people like, man, right. I'm like, yeah. I had committed. I verbal to Georgia Tech. I verbal to Georgia Tech. I came on a visit. They had Sally. They had Mark Price. They had Dal Ripple. They had a really good team. They had a good team. And I love Coach Clemens. He was like he was just a nice guy, you know. So I was hanging out in Atlanta, where I live now. I'm hanging out in Atlanta. I'm like, man, oh my God, it was crazy. So they was like, hey, we're going to a concert, right? Like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I went to a couple other recruiting trips. They take you out, you know. But I go to a concert, and guess who on the stage? Michael Jackson.
Oh,
wow. Here we
I got to see Michael Jackson on a recruiting trip.
Wow.
Nothing beats that. Nothing.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
You spent a verbal, right?
the next, you know, on Sunday, they bring you in before you get ready to go home. Hey, what you think about everything? What you think about the university? You met with all these academic people, all this. I was like, I'm coming. I'm coming.
You had me.
So they were like, okay, well, let me call Coach Hambrick and give him the good news. I was like, all right. They called Coach Hambrick. He's like, oh, no, he's not going there. He got to talk to his mom. He can't make that decision. We need to talk about it. He can't do it, you know. So I'm like, he's like, so what do you? I said, yeah, he's right, man. I got to talk to my mom. I gotta talk to my high school coach. But man, this is it for me. Like I'm telling y'all, this is it.
So you made an emotional decision to go.
Hey, look. So no, but I like the school. I like the players. One of the guys who was at the All-American camp with me, Brian Oliver. He went to school there. He was going. He had committed. He from Marietta, where I live now. He's from Marietta, so he had committed already. He was coming. So I was like, man, and me and Brian was cool. So I was like, man, this is a perfect fit. And the good part about one of the reasons why I chose Georgia Tech was because they showed interest in me when I was a sophomore. And they was one of the teams that was on me when I wasn't as good as I was in my senior year. So I'm like, these people been on me for the whole duration. They came to the camps. Coach Clemens like, they like, so I'm on my way back home. I get back home from Atlanta, and my mom said, "Hey, it's a car sitting out front." I'm like, "In Inglewood?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't know what's going on, but it's a nice car sitting out front of the house." And so I said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" I mean, like, she was like, and it's a white guy in the car. So I'm like, "Oh." I said, "Mom, it's probably a coach from somewhere or something, because coaches used to, I get home, it's Jimmy Collins and Lou Henson, man.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about I get to the house from Georgia Tech, and they like, "Hey, man, well, we want to do a house visit now. We know that you committed to Georgia Tech. We know." I'm like, "Golly, I ain't even made it home to tell nobody yet." You know what I'm saying?
Coach Hambrick.
Yeah, Coach told.
Man, listen. I get in the house. They just look. Nick had already signed. Because Hambrick would not let you sign early. You couldn't sign early because that's like one of the biggest questions. Like right now, like what school would Ben going to? Nobody don't know because he was not able to sign early.
Right.
He made you wait till your season was over, and for good reason. Like you could have had a great senior year like I did and been able to get to a school that normally, I tell people had Ben Wilson lived and went to Illinois, I wouldn't have never made it to Illinois. You know what I'm saying? You got to think Illinois had, I think, 3 scholarships. 2. They had 2 scholarships. Lowell had committed. So they had Lowell, the number 2 player.
Lowell Hamilton, yeah.
Right? And so Ed Horton went to Springfield, who played at Iowa, played in the NBA, 6'8", 6'9". They didn't offer Ed. Melvin McCants, who played at Mount Carmel, 6'9", great player at Purdue, great player. They didn't offer Melvin. 2 of the top 3 players in the whole state of Illinois, they didn't offer.
Damn.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So people say what school he was going to. I don't know, but I know that they had one scholarship left. You know what I'm saying? So in 85. And they didn't offer 2 of the top. I'm talking about Ed Horton was a beast at Iowa. And so was Melvin McCants.
Melvin McCants,
Yeah, 2 of the hardest guys in the country to guard. And between those 2 guys, they led the Big Ten in rebounding. So I mean, and 6'8", 6'9", and in Illinois, they didn't offer them. So they knew something. I don't know what it was, but I'll just leave that like where it is, But so I wind up. I say, well, listen, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I asked my mom. I said, man, I really want to go to Georgia Tech. She's like, well, I don't want you to say that I'm the reason why you decided to go to school here or there. I want you to go to the school that you want to go to, and I want you to be happy wherever you go. So I said, okay. I said, so what do you think? She's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't have to live your life. You'll never say, oh, Mom, you told me to go here and I didn't.
It's your fault.
I said, so what do you think? I said, so what do you think? She said, the only thing I'm gonna say is I like to see you play every once in a while, and that's what made me go to Illinois.
Thank you, Mom.
That was the deciding factor.
Hey, no reason necessary. That trumps them all.
Yeah. She just said, and man, you get to thinking too. You like, man, I'm a kid from Chicago. I'm going away to Georgia. I don't know nobody really.
But how ironic.
All these things start, the emotional high, like you said, the emotional high was over with. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm gonna be way down there by myself. I don't know nobody but my teammates, and this and that.
But how ironic was that you even ended up playing Georgia Tech like think like your.
Yeah, we did. We wound up playing them. We wound up playing them my junior year. Yep. We wound up playing them to. Actually, that's the game that propelled us to the #1 team in the country. So
that was by that time. I want to say that was Kenny Anderson, right?
No, that was Kenny wasn't there yet. Kenny wasn't there. That was Dennis Scott, Brian Oliver, my boy Brian. I got to play against my boy Brian. They had Tom Hammonds. They had they had a squad.
I know Mark Price was in the NBA by then.
Yeah, but I was supposed to be on that team. Either way, man. I'm happy with my choice, though, man. I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm happy. But man, either way that would have went, man. They had a great team. I was like, man, these dudes is good, man. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
So that was a great game, man. Great game. So now I'm a freshman. Of course, I was Proposition 48. So I had to sit out my freshman year. So my sophomore year, I played sparingly. I've always had, I don't know what it is, man, but I've always attracted really good people to want to work with me, and my whole high school, going back to high school, my whole high school career, like I said at the beginning, man, I just refused to let anybody outwork me, man. Like once I got that work ethic and then I started to see the progression and to see how good I could really be, once you taste a little bit of success, man, I remember when I was a sophomore, the first time I dunked the ball, I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest feeling like ever. Like, oh my God, I want to dunk every time. You know what I mean? And Hamrick, then Hamrick, he had to break me for a while. Every time they throw the ball to the post, I would turn around, bank shot, bang, bang, bank shot, bang. Like, man, he said, man, you the damn black hole, man. We throw the ball into you to run our offense, and you turn around and shoot it.
It ain't coming back out.
I was like, hey, you believe in percentages, right? High percentage shots. I ain't shoot 500 jump shots off each side of the post and throw jump hooks on all these shots to not be able to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? So it wound up being successful. My sophomore year, we played in the tournament. Oh, but what I was saying about working hard, Kenny Norman, Snake. I don't know if y'all know, but Kenny Norman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kenny Norman was like a mentor. Like he took me, come on, man, we're gonna go to the weight room. He was just a weight room for that. Like, come on, man, we're gonna go work out. We're gonna, and it was just me and Nick, because the good thing about not being able to play as a freshman is I had Nick with me.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't have the luxury of having like one of your best friends with you to walk with each other. And we kind of was for each other. You know what I'm saying? They had us going, and it wasn't because it just was this SAT stuff, man. It was just back then, man, this stuff was crazy, man. Like I know for a fact, man, I'm like, I went to my high school coach. I was like, Hammer, that was so easy. That test was easy. He was like, huh? And I was like, and he was like, man, but your scores came back. I'm like, man. And he was like, man, I'm just telling you, man, sometimes, man, kids in urban areas don't do well on it. You know what I'm saying? It's not projected. It's not set up for us to do well on it. You know what I mean?
There.
So, I mean, I'm just being honest.
That's the truth. It's been culture bias forever.
Right. So, but the good thing, like I say, I had Nick, man, and we had each other. You know what I mean? And then Kenny Battle and Lowell and Glenn Blackwell, who was there, those guys actually, like, they treated us like we was in practice. Man, they come out of practice, come get us. Dude, we still was a part of what they did. We still, we went to a few more study halls than everybody else because they was at practice. We was at study hall, but both of us had good grades. I mean, we probably had some of the highest grades on the team going into our sophomore year,
Nice.
And so it worked out perfect for us, man. And so my sophomore year, we lost to Villanova in Cincinnati. We was in the tournament. We lost to Villanova in the first round. And then the team, the Flying Illini, not the Fighting, the Flying Illini.
Talk about it.
Man, listen, I knew that this team was going to be good when I was a junior. Well, actually, I knew my sophomore year, but when I was a junior. Oh, another thing too, we had Kenny battle because Kenny had transferred from Northern to Illinois. So he set out with me and Nick. So it was me, Nick, and Kenny. So we all set out together. So I knew that we was going to be good when we started playing pickup. And everybody was going at each other like hard, like. And this was the summer before. Nobody left to go home back to Chicago. The only time we would drive to Chicago to play in the summer league. You know, that's when it was at it wasn't at Chicago State, it was at IIT. And so we would drive and come back and play in the summer league. And man, it was just the season, the school started. And so we used to have these postseason, like, you know, just going to work out. Everybody want to go work. Hey, let's go hoop. So they had a gym, which was called Hub Gym, where it's the old Illinois gym. Like it's an old historical gym. This is a gym. But we had a practice facility, like our practice jerseys and all that stuff, you know. So we used to go there and practice, you know. And so it was like we in there scrimmaging, we going against. I'm talking about, man, from the first day of school, we was going at each other. People getting dunked on, guys fighting, guys pushing each other.
Yeah.
If you played Illinois then and you say you never got dunked on by one of them guys, you lying. Everybody got dunked. I mean, people were shooting. Kendall had just worked, man. Kendall had outworked everybody. He had got bigger, stronger. His jump shot, it just kind of all came together, man. And we'd be in there scrimmaging, and we look around, man. It'd be, man, 2,000-3,000 people in the gym watching us scrimmage. Like just no coaches, no nothing. Just, you know, so they'd be like, hey, man, the coaches said, watch y'all mouth, man, because such and such, one of the deans was in there watching y'all play, and you was cussing, and you said this, and you pushed him, and this, and you called him an MFer, and you know, and you know, so it was amazing, man. That was if it's like a lot of people say that, you remember that dream team, that 84 with Jordan and the dream team. They say that practice that they had was the best pickup game ever. These were some of the best pickup games, man, ever. And, you know, we'd go in there and we just shoot and see who get the, I got him. Okay, cool. And we play. It wasn't no, Kenny and Lowell on the same team every day or this person. No, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when we go to the park in Chicago. All right, I got him. All right, you got him. I got him. Okay, I got him. Okay, I got him. Okay, and then we just play, and that be it. You know what I mean? And we had 10 good guys, man. You know what I mean? And that's how we scrimmaged, man. And it was amazing. So we went into the season like, oh, okay. And then once we got in the season and we started winning, I was like, oh yeah. And then so everybody knows their niche. So it's just like in business or whatever you do in today's society, you got to find your niche. You got to find what you're good at in order to be successful. Basketball can make you, sports period can make you so successful because it's the competitiveness that athletes have in real estate. You take that competitiveness to real estate, you take it to your everyday job. If you're an athlete, you take that to your everyday job, and the dude sitting next to you looking like, yeah, okay, you ain't gonna beat me this week, or you know, even if you're selling cars or whatever it is, you know, it becomes competitive because it's a part of your nature, you know. And once that becomes a part of your nature, man, it's in you. It's just in you, man. You know, I can make anything competitive. You know, I'm older now. My grandson is 8. He want to go out and shoot. Come on, man. Let's go. Come on.
Let's get it.
You know, but I try to instill in him what was instilled in me. You know what I mean? And so I just knew that we were good. We then we start winning, and we go to the Georgia Tech game. Somebody was talking about the Georgia Tech game. So, and then Kendall breaks his foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
in the Georgia Tech game.
That was weak. Everybody thought the season was over.
Yeah, he breaks his foot, but we keep rolling. We keep rolling. Like now we're the number 1 team in the country. Now nobody on this podcast has Nick been on here yet?
Yes.
He's been on.
Okay, that's the only other person that I know can say this is Nick Anderson. I played on the number 1 high school team in the country and the number 1 college team in the country.
He did. Yep. He did. He said
it's only 2 people that I know that can say that.
You said it.
Yeah, it's only 2 people that can say that they played on they was number 1 in high school and number 1 in college.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we went to Wisconsin, and we had a bad game, awful bad game. We wound up losing to Wisconsin. We lost like 2 games, but then we go to, and I love to tell this story because Michigan got the best of us, but then we go to Michigan, it's senior night. You know, a lot of times.
Back up, though. Rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Y'all had Michigan's number in the regular season, if I remember.
Right, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you about it. I got to tell you about it. We beat them at our place by like 12 or 14, but it's senior night, right? If you've ever been to a senior night, it's like the most emotional night of college basketball. Your senior, Glenn Rice and Lloyd Vault, all these guys are leaving. They won't be back no more. They won't. So it's senior night. We go in there. We beat them by 30. We beat them by 30.
Yuck.
We put it on them. We beat them by 30. Okay. We beat them by 30.
Mind you, listen to who we talking about.
Yeah.
Glenn Rice,
Lloyd Vault,
Ramil Robinson, Terry Mills, all league dudes.
John Higgins,
all league dudes.
Mark Hughes. They had 7 guys go in the first round on that team, off that team.
Wow.
Higgins went first round?
Yeah, Higgins was a first round draft pick to San Antonio. That's my boy, Sean. That's my partner, man. But he was 87. He came out of 87. So he was one year behind us. He was with Marcus, but
he was like with Marcus, right?
And then we forgetting about my boy who was the number 2 player in the country my senior year, Terry Mills.
I said Terry Mills.
Terry, Lloyd Vault, Romeo, Glenn Rice. Man, they had a squad, man.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they
full
did.
Meal good.
And we went in there and gave them a big L, baby. We went in there and gave them,
they had
a whip. Gave them an L.
I actually got to pause you 1 minute, Ervin. I hate to tell you this, but actually, you're wrong about Sean Higgins. He went in the 2nd round, 54th overall.
Oh, but did he go to San Antonio?
He went to San Antonio, yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm wrong, maybe.
No, he's still an NBA player.
But
you ain't wrong about that. You know? 7 guys in 2 rounds. That's unheard of now.
Right. That's some Kentucky stuff.
Yeah.
Right. That's modern day. That's Kentucky right now.
So
we wind up beating them, and so we go to this. We start the tournament. I think we started in Indianapolis. So we started playing in Indianapolis, and I think our first game was against McNeese State. We played McNeese State. We beat them. Then we played Ball State. Ball State had a pretty good team. They had Curtis Kidd and Paris McCurdy. They had a good team. And then we go to Minneapolis. We go to Minneapolis. We domed hop all the way to the Final Four. So then we go to Minneapolis. We go to Minnesota, and we working out and we practicing in that Ragley Dome, man, and there was some water leaking inside of the dome, and Kenny Battle slips
on the floor.
On the floor, Kenny Battle slips and sprains his knee. Lowell had in the Ball State game. Lowell had twisted his ankle. So now we 2 players down, and we playing Louisville. So Coach Henson comes up to me. He comes up to Marcus. Me and Marcus was roommates on the road. He comes in our room. Coach never comes in your room, ever. Like after practice, you'll never see coach. You'll see the other coaches, but you never see Coach Henson.
Mm.
And he sits on the bed. He said, "Hey man, if you guys have ever been ready, be ready tomorrow. Both of y'all gonna start." I'm like, "Oh my God, man! You know I gotta play against Purvis Ellison."
Right, never nervous.
I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I talked to Coach Collins. He said, "Man, the best thing for you to do is just go out, play your game, keep him away from the basket, set picks, do what you need, do what you do. You rebound, you play defense, and you get loose balls and, do what you do." So I said, all right. So I said, you know what? I got something for him, right? Because I had been seeing him and everybody was saying, oh, man, he's soft, he's this, he's soft. He really ain't, he wasn't really physical. He was big. He was 7 foot, though. So
he was skilled, though. I give him purpose in Louisville. He was skilled.
So let me tell you, now this is a funny story. Mm-hmm. So we get ready to tip off. So everybody walking out. So I said, I gotta make this guy think that, something. So I walk up to him, he got his hand out. I promise you, man, I slapped his hand as hard as I could.
Yeah.
Wow! And I slapped his hand. And I walked up to him and I said, "Hey man, you in for a long fucking night."
Yeah.
I just stayed in front of him and he pushed me back. He was like, "Hey man, what's wrong with y'all boy, man? Hey Nick," because everybody knew me and Nick. We, high school, that's my man, Nick, get your boy, man. He crazy, man. What's wrong with him?
Yep.
And so we get in, so we start playing him. I shoot him a bow. Bam! He's like, "Hey, man, hey, ref. And, man, from there, it was over.
Now, mind you,
had a great game.
We talking 7 foot versus 6'7".
Yeah, and you got to realize it wasn't just him. They had another 7 foot of Felton Spencer.
Oh, I forgot about Felton. Went to Golden State.
Oh, yeah.
And Felton was a big dude.
Yeah, he was like 260.
Yeah, Felton was a big
guy.
Right. So they had Felton, they had the Bradford, man, they had Kenny Payne, they had Tony, they had Kimbrough. They had a squad, man. Louisville had a
Smith was he put in that work.
Yeah, Louisville had a squad. So we wind up beating them. And so now I get to play against one of my good friends in Derek Coleman, which was he I met a lot of these guys, you meet them at camp. So you become friends with them, you kind of talk to them a little bit, keep up with what they're doing. And Derek was being from Detroit, that was kind of close. So we used to kind of watch what they was doing. So we wind up, so Derek tells me, he say, "Man, you ain't finna rough me up." He tells me this, like we practicing and they coming on to practice and we leaving off and so we going to get, this is when it becomes really real in the Elite 8 game. Because now they start fitting you for your Final Four rings. You got to go get fitted. You got to go take these pictures for the Final Four program. It started to get real around this joint. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, "Man, you ain't finna rough me off. Like, I seen what you did to Purvis, man. You ain't finna do that to me." So we wind up playing them. We wind up beating them. And then that's how we wind up playing Michigan again.
Wow.
So it was an exciting time, man. That whole Final Four experience, that whole run, it was just crazy, man. It was crazy, man. Coming back
what
to
went
campus.
through your mind though? Because you the third time, I know I got these guys.
No. You know what? We didn't think like that. We really didn't.
How did y'all follow that? Because it was
the thing was. Let me tell you what happened. The thing was, if you guys remember, Bo Schembechler was the AD at the time, right? And what was they coach? Freer, right? Freer was the coach. And he had taken a job at Arizona State, right? And Schembechler said, "I don't want an Arizona State coach coaching a Michigan team in the tournament.
I want a Michigan man."
Huh? He said, "I want a Michigan man." And that's how Fisher got the job, right?
Fisher come from my high school.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's how Fisher gets the job. So Fisher gets the job. So I asked Terry, I said, "What did y'all do?" Terry Mills. I asked Terry, because me and Terry, a lot of us still cool to this day. And I asked Terry, I said, what did y'all do different? What did y'all do different? He said, man, that guy came in practice and said, man, I don't know how to coach this team, but I'm going to tell y'all what we're going to do. We're going to throw the balls out and we're going to have fun. And he let them play. You know, he let them play. He said a lot of times they wouldn't even run no offenses or nothing. He said they just played. They played basketball, you know, like pickup ball. And it was and everybody talk about, oh, Nick Anderson didn't box out.
That's what I said, 2 points.
But listen, if you look at the stats, and the stat guy just left because I see he been looking at the stats. But if you look at the stats, Nick Anderson led Illinois in rebounding that year.
He did.
Right? He led Illinois in rebounding. And if you look at that shot, and you guys take a look at it when you get a chance again, it wasn't the box out. It was the way that the ball hit the rim. It was more of a timing issue. The ball hit the rim in a funny spot, and it just hit and hopped. And it just hopped. And it just so happened to hop because we had them.
You did.
We had them beat again for a third time.
Because I was like, my first thing was y'all was gonna kill Seton Hall.
Oh man, hey, you know what? I didn't even want to play Seton Hall. I wanted to play Duke.
Everybody wanted to play Duke.
I wanted to play Duke because it was a guy who was in my year named Allah Abdelnabi.
Allah Abdelnabi ended up going to Portland. Yep.
I remember that dude.
And he was in my class year, and we was at camp, and he was just Duke this, the whole time we was at the final. Man, we got the best team, and I said, man, I can't wait, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how that whole Michigan thing, man, it became a rivalry, you know. But that was a great time to be in college. That was a great time to be in Illinois. It was the campus was crazy. When I tell you crazy, I think that the 05 team with D. Brown and Darren Williams in them, it was crazy then too, but they had never experienced nothing like this before. Illinois never experienced nothing. And it was so exciting. You know, we pressed, we turned people over, we dumped. We was at Northwestern. We played at Northwestern, and we was up by like 6. And Kenny Battlehead got a steal. He went down and did a 360 in the game. Wow, dunked it. And coach said, hey, you don't do that, you know. Man, hey, man. And so we was in practice. And coach said, hey, you know, everybody come sit down. Now, I never heard Coach Henson ever cuss. I never heard him cuss the whole time I was at Illinois. Never heard him cuss. He said, hey, everybody sit down. He said, now, hey, we had an incident. We thinking like an incident. He's like, yeah, we had an incident at Northwestern last night. And Kenny got the ball, and he went down, and he did a 360. He embarrassed the opponent. And he said, now, let me ask you guys, how many guys want to see Kenny do that? So nobody I'm looking around. I'm like, man, and I'm real outspoken because I'm from Chicago, man. So I said, I want to see him do that. He said, hey, now see, Ervin, that's why see sometimes we don't want to put you in the game because you know you like to see all of the flag. I said, Coach, I'm just gonna tell you what you've always preached. You said high percentages, right? He said, hey, now you're right, Ervin, but that's not a high percentage shot. I said, for anybody else it's not, but for Kenny Battle, it is. He said, I tell you what. He said, this is Coach Henson. He said, I tell you what. He said, Kenny can make that shot 10 times. I said, Coach, easy. You know what I'm saying? Easy. He said, if Kenny can make that shot 10 times, no practice today. He said, hey, Kenny, can you do it? He said, easy, Coach. He gave him the ball. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He said, this time, I'm going to turn the opposite way. I'm not even going to turn the same way I've been turning. He dunked it again. Did 360. So I started taking off my shoes. I'm taking my shoes off. I'm cutting my tape off my ankles. And so the guy was like, oh, so everybody started, and we walking towards the locker room. KB does it a 10th time. He said, you guys can go, man. You guys can go. You're right. He could do it. He can make it. Because he was a percentage coach. You know, a lot of this stuff, I don't know, what do they call that stuff now when they
analytics.
Analytics. But he used to call it something else. But coach, that was his thing. That was even back in the 80s, man. That was his thing. Like, he used to call it efficiency report.
Yep.
Efficiency. So he was a biggie. He was free throw percentages, defense percentages. Like at halftime, man, we be going over this stuff. You're like, what is he talking about? Like, really? Like,
I ain't never heard that before.
Like, yeah, he's like, well, we're only shooting 19% from this, and we're doing this, and we're having like, well, we winning. You know what I mean? Like, so those, I think the bragging rights games at Missouri, those bragging right games and that Michigan game that's like the most fun, man. You know. So, and then my senior year, we went to the tournament and we played in Austin, Texas, and we lost to Dayton. So we lost to Dayton. They had a kid named Miguel Knight, man. He lit us up, man. So that's
Miguel Knight, he been playing for Phoenix.
He was Cleveland, right? He was drafted by Cleveland, I thought.
I know he played at Phoenix.
He definitely played at Phoenix. He's backup point guard to Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, Miguel Knight.
You probably thinking about Brandon Knight.
Oh, that's Brett.
No, this guy, his name, he was from Detroit.
Right. His
name was Miguel Knight.
Right.
Yeah, he was a little dude. Yeah, he's probably about 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". Yeah. So we wound up losing to them, and then I wound up trying to play professionally. I went out to Sacramento, and I went out to Sacramento, and I was doing good. I played in summer league. I led their summer league. Nobody had never seen me shoot the ball from the outside, you know, because when I first got to college, it was no such thing as a three-pointer. You know, the three-pointer came, I think, in 88, right? 88 or 88, I think. So nobody had never seen me shoot the ball, and I went to Sacramento, and I'm shooting threes and getting to the sweeping through. But it's just stuff that I had been taught from high school to college. I'm sweeping through, getting to the basket, and nobody had never seen me. I led the summer league in scoring. I was averaging like 20-something a game, 25. So the Kings was like really, really interested. So they invited me to come to camp. I came to camp, and they had a GM named Jerry Reynolds. His name was Jerry Reynolds. And he was like, Ervin, man, we really want to keep you. We really, we don't want, it wasn't no such thing as 10 days and stuff back then. He was like, man, we really want to keep you, man. But, we drafted this kid out of Syracuse, Billy Owens. And you guys kind of play the same position. And, but he don't have the post-up game that you have and this and that. He was like, just hang around for a little while. I'm like, man, okay. I called my agent. My agent was like, man, listen, I got a gig for you in making $285 in Istanbul, Turkey. You ready?
Overseas.
I'm like, hey man, when I'm he's like, we fly from Sacramento to Chicago, and 3 days later you going to
later.
And see, I was gonna ask you because technically you kind of was playing center at 6'7", 6'8", how they do today.
Yep.
So you never really got to showcase your outside wing game when you was down there at U of I, because you was, like I said, I mean, not to call you undersized because you played the position, but you was traditionally, like you said, you 7 foot. I'm sorry, you going against 7-footers at 6'7", 6'8".
Yep.
When you get to the league, you ain't a 6'7" center.
No, I'm playing the 3 and maybe some 4 and some 2. I played some 2 when I was out in the summer league. Man, my coach would put me at the 2. He's like, just shoot it. And I was a catch and shoot, man. I was shooting that thing too, man. I was shooting that thing because I had never been turned loose. I think, and you can probably, the stat guy can look it up. I got drafted by, this is when the CBA, I don't know if it was called the CBA, but it was the Rockford Lightning.
Yeah, Rockford Lightning.
Rockford something, but they had drafted me, and Bibby was their coach.
Henry.
Yeah, he was the coach. And I was like, man, I'm out of here, man. I went to Istanbul. I played over there for like 5 years. Then I played in Poland, and I played in Venezuela. So I'm like, I'm out of here, man.
Wow.
And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because
it's
it's
pro
some
ball.
guys,
It's
some
pro
guys
ball.
that didn't. Oh man, I gotta figure out. Hold on, let me get back in here, guys. It's some guys that didn't even make it. You know what I mean? To play overseas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was a blessing, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just excited about my career as I was back then, man. I love to talk about basketball. I love to talk about sports. I love to talk about high school. I sometimes I wish that my grandson. I have a grandson. He's 8 years old. He plays football though. But I tell this kid, I said, listen, man. If I had your talent, he's so talented at 8 years old. He's talented. And he's already taller than most kids. He played football. Everybody like right here to him. He looking over. He plays on the line. He play on the line, but he want to be a daggone running back. I'm like, dude, come on, man. You the biggest kid out here. You want to run the ball. I want to run the ball, Pawpaw. I said, listen, man.
You want that glory.
You want that Derrick Henry.
And be good at your position. I said, without you, the running backs can't get into the end zone. But I want to run the ball. I said, if you want to run the ball when you play, because he plays defense too. I said, strip the ball and then pick it up and take it and run it. If you want
I like that too.
So, I mean, that's what you want to do. So, I tell him, I say, listen, and I tell him this all the time. I said, if I had the talent that you had when I was 8 and 9 years old, I said, I would have been the next Michael Jordan because nobody could outwork me. I wouldn't let you outwork me. Like, I want to be first in sprints. If I didn't come in first, I want to be in the top 3. I want to be in this high school, college, whatever. I want to be first in sprints. I want to be, I want to be first in this. I want to, and I just wanted to work and work and work. I just, that was just my thing. Even when I was overseas, it was competitive. Marty Emery that played at DePaul, he was over in Turkey with me for like 4 years. And so me and Marty became really good friends too. So, I had a great career, man. And I'm excited about what, what has happened and more excited about what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm still young, man. you get these grandkids, man, and they make you they make you feel even that much more young. You know what I mean?
So are you doing any coaching or training or anything?
No, I used to do a lot of training when I was in Chicago back in 2010. My daughter played high school basketball in Chicago. I used to train girls. And then I was working with my buddy, Tony Smith. I don't know if y'all know Tony. He's a girls coach at HF right now. But he used to be at Bolingbrook.
Okay.
And he had Morgan Tuck. Morgan to me is the greatest.
He was the coach. That girls team was like 30-1 or something like that.
Yes. Morgan Tuck is probably the greatest women's basketball high school player in the history of Illinois high school basketball.
Wow.
She was Miss Basketball as a freshman. Wow. She won 3 state championships in high school. She won 4 national championships at UConn. And then she just won a WNBA championship with the Storm a year or so ago. Wow. So to me,
decorated.
Yeah. I mean, when you win, she got so much jewelry, man. Then she played on USA teams. She played on, so and I her mom always said, well, you was one of the reasons why, because I used to work her out and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, but Morgan, she was really good. So, God is good, man.
So what made you move from Chicago to Atlanta? Like,
well,
I'm out.
The first thing was the weather.
Yeah. Weather alone.
Yeah.
Right.
That was probably the biggest thing. And then I just, man, there's something about the South. The hospitality is different. A lot of the people are different,
True.
The kids now say, oh man, they haters. It's a lot of guys in Chicago, man. They still hold that Simeon. Oh man, y'all, you play for Simeon, I mean, just at one time, yeah, everybody wanted things like, yeah, there they go. But they as you get old, y'all beat up about 30, man. And they, you know, I just
You're mad.
yeah. So I wanted something for me, man. I just wanted something different. I just want, you know, I like to create my own culture. I came down here, I started doing well. I opened a dump truck business.
Wow, that's cool.
Got some contracts on the highway. I was working for, you know, I just sold my business for, you know, so I don't have to work as hard. I sold it. I did really well on this. They built the we call it like the Skyway. You know how the Skyway, like the Skyway is in Chicago. Well, they built a peach thing like that here in Georgia, and I got on that. I got on that thing when it first happened. I had a 5-year run, and
wow,
10 trucks. I had 10 trucks on it. Yeah, I had 10 dump trucks on it.
Okay.
And so they started another project, and I just got tired of dealing with the drivers and this, and I was like, man, I'm gonna sell. And then my mom got sick, and I wasn't able to do a lot of things. So I was like, I sold, and I'm all right now. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, that's awesome, man.
I can spend time with my grandkids and do that, you know, whatever I need to do. And
how many you got?
Three. I got 3.
Nice.
1 daughter, 3 grandchildren.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So before we let you go, we always ask a Chicago question, man.
Okay.
T, ask 2. Ask 2.
All right, I'm gonna ask 2. Well, I'm gonna let AB ask the second one because I have an idea what the second one is gonna be.
Right.
But I'm gonna ask the first one.
I don't.
Harold's Chicken.
Uh-huh.
Or Uncle Remus.
Harold's.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
and I'm kind of biased because you know Kendall Gill brother, they own a lot of Harold's chickens in Chicago.
So you got
I'm being politically correct too, but I do like Harold's better. You know they got Harold's in Atlanta now.
I
didn't know that.
Harold's in Atlanta.
4 of them.
Yup.
But they're a little different. When you walk in, you don't walk in and see all this plexiglass and all this. They call it an ice bar. So you can sit down and have drinks. They have one of them that's really like they have DJ in there. They have a DJ playing house music.
You need to make a road trip, boys.
They got one like that downtown.
Yeah, it's called an ice bar, man. It's off the chain, man. They got them. It's like 4 of them in the city right now. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I'm
they got one in Alabama.
They do? Hey,
I never knew Harold's was on the move like that.
Hey, look, I remember when I was a kid, they used to have one around my grandmother's house on 69th in Racine, right off of Racine, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had a Harold's. And you know, as a kid, man, we ain't had no money for no for chicken or no wings. We used to just go get fries for $1 in a brown bag.
With some sauce.
Fries with some mild sauce. Oh my God.
They was banging though.
Huh?
They was banging.
Hey, everybody in the neighborhood was sticking their finger. COVID, what? Everybody just
hey, dog, let me get some of them.
Hey man, it was $1. They was $1. And
it was a good size bag of fries too.
Yeah, man. It was a big bag of fries with sauce. Man, you be licking and it had some white paper, you know that white paper that they put over the thing. We used to be sucking the sauce off the paper, man.
That's great.
So where in Atlanta are these Harold's? Because I used to I went to school in Atlanta.
Okay, they got one in Marietta. That's one of the ice bars. They have one now in they have one downtown on what's the name of that street? Right by Auburn Avenue.
What?
Yeah, they have one by Auburn Avenue, like the old over where King lived at, right by King's Church. It's like a block or 2 from King's Church from Ebenezer. They have one in Jonesboro out south, and then they got one in College Park.
Oh, so they got 2 in the city proper.
Right.
Okay. All right. You know, that's not too far. The King's Church, that's not too far from the AUC.
No. It's close. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't been
and it's not that far.
Years.
It's not that far from the HB, from the colleges neither. So,
right.
You know, a lot of the college students, that's where they go to party at is over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh yeah.
But yeah, they got them. They tell me that they put more of them. They putting them everywhere. Like people who eat it, it's like, oh my God. And you know, when I first went to one, I was like, this ain't gonna taste the same. Then I see them come out with the bags, people walking out with the bag. I'm like, this really Harold's, you know what I mean? So they said, well, there's some girls from Chicago, from Dalton that opened them. I'm like, oh, okay.
Ah, makes sense.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I'm like, okay. So then what really made me think it wasn't a Harold's is because you walk in and it's a table and it's got a bar and they serving drinks. They got TVs all over the place. They in the back it's comedy. It's a comedy club on the other little side. But the craziest thing in the world, and I told them they weren't gonna last. They had the sauce sitting on the table. The mild sauce sitting on the table. I said, this ain't gonna last long because
take that.
They gonna steal them folks gonna steal that mild sauce off that table.
Swiping, no swiping.
And I went back about a month or two later. I looked on the table, no mild sauce. I said, where the sauce that was on? Oh no,
they charge you for that joint now.
Man,
you gotta pay for that.
Man, extra mile, it costs.
Oh, I know. You know,
you gotta.
But that's one thing I hate about that Chicago. Everybody talking all that Atlanta. Oh, yeah, Atlanta's beautiful. It's nice. This. But man, I miss the food in Chicago, man.
Hey,
Chicago has the greatest food ever, man.
That segues us to our next question.
Yes, which brings us to the second question. AB,
what's your favorite pizza place, Ervin? Chicago pizza place.
Chicago pizza. I'm going to
right.
say,
Come on,
Illuminati's.
Oh, that's not the one we pick here. We like Giordano's here.
I like Giordano's too, but I like Illuminati's because I don't eat pork, and Illuminati's have
they give you the turkey option.
Yeah, they have a great turkey pizza, man. But Giordano's, if you asked me that when I was college or first few years, I would have said Giordano's, and the reason why is because we always, when we left the YVI, they had in Hyde Park, they had a Giordano's right there.
Yep.
And so we always went to Giordano's in Hyde Park and got pizza. Like I've never really had Geno's and like a lot of that stuff, like
Aurelio's.
I had Beggars before. It's all right, but I just like, you know, it's a place here. It's a place here. And the guy, he's an Italian guy. His name is Vic. And you can look it up. It's called Chicago Pizza, right?
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Okay.
And it's very close to Giordano. It's almost the idea. If you look at the menu, you will see the deep dish. It's the butter crust. It's the whole nine. It's very he told me that his family is one of the owners of the Giordano's. So he brought that whole thing to Georgia. And that's the new thing here in Georgia, because there's so many people who live here from Chicago. It's so many people from Chicago here. Like we have a house party. We have a house party, man, and it's crazy. Like you see so many, like, hey, you live in Georgia? Yeah, you live in Georgia. I'm like, yeah. They had a party, man, probably, what was it, 2 summers ago, and Farley was down here.
Really?
It was crazy, man.
They brought house down to Atlanta, huh?
Man, they have it in the park every summer.
Okay.
It's called House in the Park.
Kind of like our house music festival.
Is it as good as those parties at Mendel?
At Mendel?
Yeah.
No. Hey, Mendel used to be off the chain, man.
Yeah.
No, there you go. That's Chicago pizza, right?
Messed up.
Hey,
Yep.
Hey, CT, you said Mendel. You ain't even mentioned the house picnic though.
Oh, I know, right? I missed that. So, man, listen, man. Oh, y'all bringing back some memories, boy. Listen. Hey, when I was in high school, and we used to hang out, right? Call ourselves being grown. You know what I'm saying? We used to love to go to the point.
Okay, yeah.
You know, have you a drink at the point, sitting on the rocks.
Yeah.
Water, you know, it's Chicago, summertime shot. You got the view of the downtown, the skylight,
Don't
man.
get dark till almost 9 o'clock.
You drinking you some Gills. Y'all don't know nothing about no Gills, do you?
No, what's that?
Gills is a beer. It's in Hyde Park. It used to be on 47. And they serve it to you in like one of those old milk. It looked like a milk jug.
Oh,
They used to sell it to you by the gallons. Look it up, man. Gills beer.
Gills beer, okay.
You get a gallon, man. Everybody, man, we be passing it around like we was in Cooley High, man. Hey, drinking right out the thing. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought they was we all hanging out at the point, you know. It was amazing, man. You know, Chicago, I love Chicago, man. I think that for me, this was a better move for me in the situation, and God really just blessed everything that has happened, man. And I'm just so thankful, man. There it is, the Gills beer.
Look at 47th Street.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right in Hyde Park on 47. It used to be right on 47 in Hyde Park.
That ain't too far from the grocery store.
Right. I actually, you know where the Y used to be in Hyde Park, where the athletic
grocery store.
What's
that?
Oh, that ain't no.
Yeah, that's the Gills. That's it, man. He pulled a picture up of that thing, man. That dude,
quarter barrel.
That dude, that got it on point, man.
Man, that look like they got some of that Wendy's.
One thing about it, you can't come on here lying, can you, man?
Well, no. Hey, look. That's that drug on when you watch the cartoons, it had 3 X's on it.
Yeah, you can't come on here lying. Y'all gonna pull it up on the Joker, man. What?
Right.
No, Sean Higgins was 80. He was second round and not first round.
Yeah.
I'm not even done with you yet. I'm not even done with you. I got one more for you.
This is AB's Fun Fact on the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
I lied. I got 2 for you.
All right, I'm waiting.
All right, Ervin. Number 1. These should be slam dunk easy for you. Easy questions for you. How many ranked teams did you guys beat in the Flying Illini year? How many ranked teams?
In the 89 season, right?
88 team.
88-89,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
88-89.
Yeah.
That's a hard one, man. Because, and the reason why is because back then the Big Ten was loaded.
Yes.
Indiana.
Yep.
You know, and now we went to the Final Four. We beat Michigan twice that year, right?
Yep.
But we didn't win the Big Ten.
No, you came in second that year.
Purdue won the Big Ten.
Purdue won it. Yep.
Right. So you had Purdue. You had Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people remember that that shot that Jay Edwards and Nick. Remember, if you ever watched like on the classics, Jay Edwards came and hit a shot, and then Nick hit a half court shot for us to win against Indiana.
Yep.
So you had Indiana, Purdue, Michigan State was good.
Steve Smith.
Yeah. No, Steve was there a little bit. A lot of people don't know Andre Rison played point guard for Michigan State.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
A lot of people don't know that. You can look that one up. That go another one for you. He played point guard. So I would say, and I'm guessing, I would say 8.
Well, it doesn't give the full list, but it says that you guys beat 12 ranked teams that year.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, Indiana, Purdue, Syracuse, Louisville,
Missouri. Don't forget Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri. Yeah. They had Derek Chivas.
Yeah.
Band-Aid guy, Missouri. The Big Ten was tough, man.
Yeah.
The Big Ten was tough back then. You know what I mean? Michigan. I mean, just think. Illinois, Michigan State, Purdue, Wisconsin was good then.
Yep.
So that's 5 teams in the Big Ten right there.
Yeah.
And that was before Penn State came in the league and all those, But the big, if you won, Coach Henson used to say, if you can win all of your home games and split on the road, you can win the Big Ten.
Damn right. I agree with that. So the second question, how many 100-point games did you guys have that?
Oh, my God, man. I'm going to say, well, these some hard questions, man. You talking about
Wait, what the Georgia Tech game? 100-point game?
I would say 6.
I was gonna say 4.
You're both wrong. He had 8 count them, 8 games you guys played. Yeah, 8 of them. They don't mention them all, but they do mention LSU in there.
Oh my, hey man. Now that's a game we didn't.
68% shooting.
Let me tell you what happened.
That's insane.
Listen to me. Chris Jackson. This when he was Chris Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
We go to LSU, right? I gotta tell this story. I gotta tell this, and then whatever y'all want to do. But we go to LSU, and we're in the locker room. No, let me go back. We was in the mall. So we all went team out, and we all go to the mall. So this little kid walks up to us. He said, "Hey, Tiger bait. Yeah, y'all Tiger bait tonight. Okay. Tiger bait. So then we're in the locker room. We getting all fired up because believe it or not, we had a lot of Chicago guys. We had a lot of Chicago guys on that team. You know, everybody was really from Chicago, and then the couple Southern Illinois guys like Bardo and Larry Smith, they just ate up our culture. You know, they ate up our culture because it was so many people from Champaign that went to school in Illinois was from Chicago. So house music was popping. You know, Steve Hurley's sister was going to Illinois. She was the DJ at the parties. The parties used to be going crazy. So house music. So we like, oh yeah. So before our games, before the coaches came in and gave a final, we used to listen to house music and be, you know, back then, you remember how the guys used to jump around and bump into each other and slam dance.
Yeah,
right?
slam
So
dance.
we used to do all that, right?
Right.
So we, so man, we get ready to walk out. We like, let's go. We walk out the locker room, man. They got a daggum tiger sitting in front of our locker room.
A real tiger.
A real tiger in a cage.
Oh, yeah.
We walk out, he goes, "Rawr!" And man, we tore that locker room door off trying to get back in that locker room. And they said they do that to everybody.
Oh man.
But look, so we playing them. I'm talking about everybody on our team. I think we had 100. What do you had? 127.
Hold on.
127.
Yeah, I think that's right. Hold on a minute. I
think we had like 127. Everybody had double figures, and Chris Jackson and Kendall was going at each other.
Yep, 127.
I think Chris might have had
exactly right.
48,
Woo!
40 something, but Kendall had like 39. They kind of was
got
going at
68% from the field that game as a team.
Yeah. It was a lot of dunks in that game. It was a highlight. That was a highlight film, Justin.
Like a Harlem Globetrotters game, man. That's what that was.
Yeah. It was a hell of a game. I think Chris fouled out too, trying to guard Kendall, man. It was crazy.
That's great.
But those were, man. I'm glad you brought that game up, man. Yeah.
What we do.
So that was Chris Jackson, aka Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The first Stephen Curry.
Hey man.
Yes, before Stephen Curry.
He lives here in Atlanta.
No.
Really?
Oh, wow. Okay.
He lives in Atlanta, and he was on a radio show here, and he told the radio show, he said, if I had 30 days with Ben Simmons, I can make him a shooter.
Really?
Wow.
He said, now, if you go back, do you guys watch Marcus's podcast, All Ball Chicago?
Absolutely. Marcus Liberty, yes.
Right. So he was on Marcus's podcast, and he said that he was working out with what's the kid that played, man, he plays in Indiana now, the little guard.
Malcolm Brogdon?
Brogdon.
Brogdon.
He said he was working Brogdon out. He was Brogdon's trainer, right?
Okay.
When he was in Milwaukee. He said, and then he said, Marcus, man, the dude started smelling himself, man, you know? And he called me out. He said, I laced him up on him and lit him up. He still can shoot. If you watch the Big Three, man, he put up numbers on guys.
Yeah.
You know,
we gotta get in touch with him.
Huh?
We gotta get in touch with Chris.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get the number and send it to you. Send it to Tanya for y'all, man.
Okay,
much
cool.
love, man.
Yeah.
If
that
anybody
would be
else
great.
that I know that that you want to try to get in touch with, just let me know, bro. So
okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had a good time tonight, man. Had a good
Man,
time.
this has been a
Great
blast
time.
from the past. Walk down memory lane, man. You was one of our favorites.
One of mine.
Man.
Thank you, man. Hey, all I tried to do, I found my niche, man. It was playing defense, rebounding the basketball, out hustling everybody, and that's how I stayed on the floor. And that was my niche. My niche wasn't to get 20 points. My niche wasn't to dunk on everybody, but my niche was to make sure I played defense and got rebounds and loose balls and did what I was supposed to do. And everybody that's one of the good things about that team is that everybody knew what their job was, and they did their job. And that's what made it easy.
Solid.
A lot of people say you were the Dennis Rodman.
Yes,
of that
absolutely.
Illini team.
Absolutely.
That could be true.
Shit, I mean, Dennis Rodman is not unsung, and you should not be unsung either.
Agree.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate it, man. I did my best, man, and I gave my all every night, and I left it all on the floor, and I'm happy, man. A lot of people, I know a lot of guys, they say, "Oh man, I shouldn't have went to school there. I shouldn't have did." I don't necessarily look back and say what I should have did or what I shouldn't have did, because it all happens in God's time. You know what I mean? That's where I was supposed to be. It's nothing in this world that can take away the experience of playing in a Final Four, man. And everybody don't get the opportunity to do it. Everybody don't get the opportunity to do it. It's so many great basketball players that probably were a lot greater than I were in high school and in college, but they didn't have the camaraderie. They didn't have the team experience to play in Final Four and really be picked to win it. And we should have won the national championship.
Yes,
y'all sure was picked. Absolutely.
We should have won the national championship. My years at Illinois, that was one of the greatest team camaraderie that I had ever been around. Even in high school, it was like crazy, man. Like when guys say, "Oh man, we get along," we actually got along, man. Like we kicked it, we hung out, man. We did our little dice games in the locker room, and we did all our little stuff. You know what I mean? But we did it together. You know what I mean? If we go out somewhere, man, you get into one thing about it. If you get into it with one of us, you might as well get ready because everybody coming.
Everybody coming.
If one of us get kicked out of school, everybody getting kicked out. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way it should be.
And that's how I was, man. And even to this day, man, even the younger guys, everybody say, man, the 2005 team would have beat y'all. That's one of the greatest debates.
What?
And you know what I always tell these guys? We used to have basketball banquets and stuff with them sometime, right? And they get to talking, "Oh yeah, we had to beat y'all." I said, "Man, listen. First of all, who was D Brown gonna guard?"
Stephen Bardo was 6'5". You wasn't gonna guard him.
No,
he wasn't gonna guard Kendall neither.
Hell no.
Okay, who was Luther Head? Luther Head was y'all three, right?
Yeah.
So he had to guard Nick.
Nope.
What about
Roger
Darren
Powell
Williams?
had to guard Kenny Battle.
Yeah,
that would be pretty.
Not the preacher. I ain't got no faith in the preacher.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I mean, come on, man. Y'all had. I mean, and Darren, maybe Darren and Kendall, or maybe Darren and Steve would have been a wash. But then you got Lowe. Then y'all bench. Y'all didn't have a bench. Who's going? Me, Marcus, Larry Smith. Man, Larry, let me tell you something, man. And this is the God's honest truth. Larry Smith might have been one of the most talented guards I ever seen in college. Larry Smith. A lot of people don't know. Larry Smith in '86 was Mr. Basketball in Illinois. Him and Nick shared it. Go ahead and look it up, buddy. But him and Nick Anderson shared Mr. Basketball.
I trust you. I'm not gonna.
That show you how good he is. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, Larry was a beast, man. Larry was a man. But he was before his time. See, I played for a college coach, man, that I don't want to say he was old-fashioned because his defensive schemes was wicked. That he was great. Defensively, he was a mastermind. But offensively, man, like you couldn't throw a one-hand bounce pass, or you couldn't, he didn't like you. Like I said, I told you guys about the 360 dunk. I mean,
no flash.
He just was stuck in his ways, and like if we could have just broke him a little bit, sometimes, man, coach would be like, okay, all right, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. So we'll be in the huddle, and it's like, okay, we're gonna run this, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that. Okay, cool. So then the buzzer bomb, we'll come out on the court. It's like, hey man, we ain't doing that. We doing this. Get that ball inside the Nick, and hey, get that ball inside the Nick, and we gonna rock and roll, man. It's like, hey, no, who called that? Hey man, and that's why we had a lot of success too, man, because we knew each other's strength. You know what I'm saying? Kendall, hey, mouse in the house. I got, come on, man. Like, man, you better get out on the perimeter. No, I want to post up. It's like all the guards want to be post players, and all the post players want to be guards. That's just how it's even like that now in the NBA.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is.
Embiid want to shoot threes and all that. Come on, Embiid, you 7. Come on, man, you
Giannis.
7-1.
Giannis
You're
is
supposed to be a Shaq down there, man. You want to shoot jump shots. Man, I went 7-2. I never shoot a jump shot. What?
Man, somebody said he's the most skilled center in NBA history. I had to pump the brakes.
Who?
I don't think so.
Embiid.
Who?
Nah.
Embiid.
Yeah, in one of my NBA groups, and I'm like, Joel Embiid?
He said that about himself.
No, in one of the groups.
No, I'm saying he said that about himself.
He did.
If he did, he didn't tell the truth.
When it comes to pure power, and the best I've ever seen play that position is Shaq.
Pure power, yes.
And just take over a game.
But skill,
Hakeem, I'm gonna say him, and it depends on if we talking Tim Duncan too.
Tim is still a 4 to me.
He's a 4.
So if you're talking, Tim could be a 4-5, but Tim he had great footwork. He, a lot of guys who went to high school with me say, hey man, you was Tim Duncan before Tim Duncan. Because if you know the Tim Duncan
shot, yeah.
Backboard especially.
Yeah, the guys say, man, you was Tim Duncan before Tim Duncan. And because that was my specialty, man, And man, they like, hey, man. But pure talent and power, I'd have to say Shaq with power. But Hakeem with footwork and skill and jump hooks and fakes and footwork and all that. But see, back then in Africa, they play a lot of soccer.
Good
so if you really want to get you some good footwork, play soccer.
Well, that's where he got all his footwork from, soccer.
Yeah. Most Nigerians or Africans that play in the NBA, they have great footwork because they're soccer. And even most guys overseas. Like, man, to me, all that Euros, that's a travel, man. It's traveling, man.
No question.
That's a travel, man. A lot of that stuff Luka do, man, and James Harden, that's traveling, man.
Yeah, me and James ain't on the same page.
That's traveling,
you
man.
said Luka, right?
He play basketball to draw a foul. Come on, man.
Luka is the main one.
Huh?
Luka is the main one. Euro stepping. Oh,
yeah.
But don't like to be touched either.
No, you don't. But that's the game that we've come to. Euro steps and step back threes. And I bet you if you played on my high school team, you came down and you pulled up a 3 on a fast break, you wouldn't play the rest of the season.
Be benched. Yeah.
No, he said the rest of the season, not the game. The season.
Hey man, we had a guy. His name. This is when I was a sophomore. I was on a sophomore team. They had a guy named Jack. He never really got off the bench in my high school. He never really got off the bench. So, and this was just funny. He's like, hey. So he was singers. He was a singer. He's like, hey, we want Jack. We want Jack. So they was trying to get him in the game, you know what I'm saying? So my high school coach went down to the end of the bench and looked at him and said, "Hey, Jack, them people want you. You need to go see what they want."
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Damn.
But those type of things like that he just, Hamrick was the type, and he had just got on Hamrick's wrong side. You know what I'm saying? So when you get on his wrong side, man, it was hard to get off his,
get out the doghouse.
Yeah, man, it's hard, man. Once you get in, it's hard, man. I don't care what you do, man. He'll give you maybe one more chance, one more opportunity. But like he said, I got kids who want to be here, who want to play, who want to. We had a kid. He wasn't a kid. It was a guy named Laurent Crawford. You guys know Laurent?
I'm not familiar.
He was at Simeon. He was a 7-footer.
Really?
He started off at Simeon. He would have been on that state championship team, but he transferred to King.
Figures.
He would have played with Tracy Dildy. He was there with Tracy and Fred, but we winded up beating them. Like I told you, when I was in high school, we winded up. Rodney then winding up beating them to play for the city championship. But Laurent, man, he got on his bad side, man. How you let a 7-footer lead? But you take a guy like me that's 6'7", but a workhorse, and make him into a Division I basketball player.
It's because you're always going to outwork him, and everybody knows that. I mean,
And my ethic, man, I'm telling you, man, that's what got me by in this game of basketball is work ethic. Wasn't the most talented guy, and I admit that. I mean, I can hold my own, but I'm going to outwork you, and that's my whole thing about my career. I'm going to outwork you.
That's the thing now about today's game. You wonder who's really working.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't have to wonder. Because when the season starts, you're going to know who really worked, who was working in the summertime. See, the summertime is when you get better. You know who been working. Because you see guys like Jordan Poole.
Love Jordan Poole.
You see guys like Poole. You see guys like Ja Morant. You see how they taking their game to the next level. Because guess what they was doing in the summer? They was putting in work. They was putting in work. Man, Jordan Poole added a whole nother dimension to the Warriors. He held it down while Clay was gone, man.
I didn't know Jordan Poole had that in him. And Chris,
Gary
you can talk about
Jr.
this
too.
Oh my God.
I didn't know he could handle a rock like that.
Right. Yeah, but this guy, sometimes, man, I thought he was Clay. I'm like, some of the stuff he was doing, I'm like, and it just, when Clay comes back, that just adds a whole, I mean, they so deep, man. Yeah, they just deep, and they all shoot the 3 ball. They don't even have a center. Golden State never really had a center, but they had Bogut, but they never really have a center. Draymond guarding centers. He's me.
He's you. Now look, you saw what I said. He was Coach Henson was ahead of his time.
What you think about Ayo?
Oh,
I like Ayo. I think Ayo has a lot of potential. But I think that he's a rookie and he's got some jitters, but he's an alumni, man. So
yes, sir.
I'm gonna stick with him. I'm gonna ride with him to the wheels.
Gotta give him some love.
Just because, he's young, man. He's young. The best thing that Ayo ever did was to go back to Illinois after his sophomore year when he was talking about coming out. The best thing he ever did was go back to school. I think the same thing for Kofi. I think him going back to Illinois, Kofi wouldn't have got drafted last year.
Nah.
I think he was second round.
I don't think he'd have made it. I don't think he'd have got drafted. But now he's a first round. He may be even a lottery pick. See, Kofi last year, he didn't have any go-to shot. Now he's got that little jump hook.
But also now too, he's the focal point.
And he's not only is he the focal point, but he's more poised.
Absolutely.
Last year he was right.
Trying to be a bruiser.
I was on a podcast probably about 2 weeks ago with Deion Thomas. You guys know who Deion is?
Yeah.
All-time leading scorer in the Illinois history.
Played with you.
Simeon guy, right? Simeon guy. I actually groomed Deion. when I was a senior, junior, and senior, he was younger than me. He was a freshman, sophomore. So I took him under my wing like the guys did me when I was younger, right? So I told Dion, I said, Dion, because Dion works for Illinois Broadcast and he works in fundraising. I said, Dion, if I was Underwood, I would pay you to come in and work with Kofi on his footwork and on his little shots and stuff around the basket.
Yeah.
Because Dion had great footwork. You know what I'm saying? He's the all-time leading scorer in the history of Illinois basketball.
Correct.
I mean, so a guy like that, and I got him in media, I would pull him and say, hey, man, come work with this kid. And I told Dion, I said, Dion, you ought to just grab him and just once a week, man, just go in the gym with him and just say, hey, man, I want to show you something. Dion played in Spain for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Here's another guy, man. He got drafted by the Dallas Mavericks and decided to opt out and go to Spain and play.
He had a decent career over there, too.
Yeah, he had a great career, man.
Yeah.
Good guy, great guy, man.
Yeah.
So, you know.
We've been trying to get him on the podcast, too, but
I'll make it happen.
My guy.
I'll make that happen.
Appreciate
making my Illini dreams come true the more you talk.
Hey, I'll make that happen for real. Like, that's my little brother. Like, he's a little brother to me. Like, for real.
And he's great with the media, too. I absolutely love him.
Yeah. I'll make that. Yeah. I got that. That's easy.
Okay. Appreciate that, Appreciate you.
Just tell Tanya to hit me, man. And, you know, I appreciate you guys, man. It was nice meeting everybody, man. And
this been one of the days, man.
Thanks for the stories. Thanks for the
and that's what these podcasts is for, man. So these younger guys can kind of see what it is that they missed or what it is that they like Final Four. Illinois went to the Final Four in 89. A lot of them guys, probably a lot of these younger guys,
they probably don't know nothing about that.
They wasn't even born
about that.
So you know, man, it's awesome, man. That you guys, what you guys doing, keep doing what you're doing. You know, keep bringing it, and keep this Chicago alive, man. Chicago's the greatest, one of the greatest sports cities.
Absolutely.
In the world, man. And I'm saying not just the United States, I'm talking about the world. You know what I mean? The Bulls in the 90s, the Fighting Illini, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just being, DePaul Blue Demons, Ray Myers team.
Ray Myers,
the Mark Aguirre, Terry lives here too. Terry Cummings lives here.
Terry down there, right? He down there in Atlanta
he's a preacher.
Right?
Yeah, he's a preacher here in Georgia. Yeah, Terry lives here too.
Terry Cummings?
Yeah, he lives in Georgia.
Man, we've been trying to get him on the podcast. He be playing with us,
you might just have to get your Rolodex out and just talk to Ervin after this. Now, wait a minute. Who you got? Hang on.
Terry, I know.
Ervin, I gotta ask you this.
Forth with Terry trying to get him on the podcast.
Ervin, I gotta ask you this before you leave, man. Come playoff time, March Madness and all that, I need you to come back.
Okay, that's cool.
I need you to come back because we got a lot more to discuss.
Yeah,
hey, let me tell you what y'all need to do is have like me, Kendall, Steve, like
done.
So wait a minute.
Already that Rolodex out. Let's get it going.
If you got a date that you want that to happen on Tuesday, it's done.
Already.
Yeah, let me talk to those guys. Let me talk to everybody.
Already.
I know Nick and Marcus will do it in a heartbeat. I want to. But like Kendall, Kendall do a lot because he's with the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? So,
I saw him a couple of weeks ago. He was talking about fighting one of them Jake Pauls or Luke Pauls.
He would whoop him. He would whoop him.
I agree. Wait, I want to see it.
Hey, the guy's ducking him. The guy won't fight him.
He about to fight Conor McGregor now.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
He reached out to Conor.
Somebody said that one of them was finna fight Mike Tyson. I was like, he crazy.
What?
I think that's Logan.
He out his mind.
Logan,
I still wouldn't get in the ring with Mike Tyson.
It don't matter what ball it is, he's getting knocked the hell out.
I wouldn't get in the ring with Mike Tyson at 90.
I wouldn't give him.
Man,
Yeah,
you can tell me right now, if Mike Tyson punched me one time for $100 million, I'd have to really contemplate my life.
Yeah.
They don't know which Paul it is. Rich Paul, Chris Paul.
Yeah. I don't care.
All of them can get in there at one time, right? Yeah, but let's put it together, man. You guys, get my information from Tanya, man. That's my girl. She's a sweetheart, man. She's a Simeon Wolverine
producer, yes, sir.
Our girl,
yeah,
man.
and so she knows some folks, man.
Yeah.
Just because of her Simeon connections.
Absolutely. Right? Well, Irv, stay in tune because we're gonna make that happen. We'll have a whole flying Illini pod, man.
Yeah. I know, like Bardo has a podcast. It's called Bardo's Breakdowns.
Okay.
Steve has a podcast, and then Marcus has a podcast. So, like, we do that sometimes. Like, it'll be like 5 or 6 of us, and we'll go on one of their podcasts and stuff like that. So,
I can even pull up old video from all the games, whatever. We can watch it right here, but you guys can talk about it. We do whatever you guys like.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. So, let's make it happen, man. It was nice meeting you guys, man. You guys be good, be safe, man, and take care, man. And,
yes,
and be blessed, bro.
Talk with you soon.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you, guys. Yes,
let's go. Love it. Our guy.
That's
Now I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna let it go. Foul mouth C. When he was talking about Jordan Poole, you ain't said a word. That's your Michigan people, man.
Hey, man, I ain't gotta say nothing. He said it all right there. I ain't gotta say nothing about Jordan Poole.
He might be the first guest that we've ever done that he literally answered every one of my questions before we could get to the questions, man. He laid it out. He laid it out better than any guest I think we've ever had. Man, loved it.
So before we go any further in this podcast, this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to move.
Whoa.
Just like that.
I know what that means.
I don't.
Just like that. Chris, you are the guy.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That's it. I told you I know what that means.
Let's move on to this next topic. We got JB. You on deck, baby.
Wait, is it full court press time?
The full court press.
Let me get my intro.
Video.
Let me get my intro so I can refill.
I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. Okay, you ready?
Go.
Better hurry, JB. Here it comes. I'm about to lay it out. Oh, too bad.
Where did T-Nick go?
He's hiding.
He's hiding? Okay.
Oh, he is.
So I'm gonna make this really, really quick, but intentional. So, as we know, our beloved Bulls, we were riding high. We was on the way. We was the number 1 seed. We was looking tough. Everything was looking really, really promising. Then the Brooklyn Nets came to town. And what do we see as our problem from that Brooklyn Nets game? Found out because I know we usually be here on this, before you comment. I want to say that was the catalyst game to put us in the situation we're in now. I know everybody want to talk about the injury with Zach. I know everybody want to talk about Caruso not coming back yet. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about one glaring stat that is the reason why the Bulls are suffering. Now, AB, you and I, we went on a tangent on a couple of our NBA fan pages about people clamoring for Damian Lillard.
Yes.
Right? So, Damian Lillard, okay, so what are we talking about? A couple more points, 13, 14, 15 more points. But what is the big problem? It's 2.
The big problem.
You heard me say the big problem.
The big problem. I caught it.
And the problem I'm going to break down like this. It starts not just defensively, fellas, but rebounding. Let me give you some numbers. So if I threw these numbers out to you in the last 4 games, I'm going to say this. 26, 42, 2, 13. Everybody know what that is the last 4 games?
26, 6.
No, 26.
Sorry, I didn't hear the second one.
42.
Oh, 42, okay.
2 and 13.
2 and 13.
That's the points that the Bulls lost by the last 4 games.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's something when you dig a little bit deeper into the tale of the tale. Out-rebounded game 1. They lost to Brooklyn. Out-rebounded 41-35.
Yep.
Game 2 to Golden State was a 42-point loss. They were out-rebounded 47-36. Boston, although a 2-point loss, they were out-rebounded 50-32. Chris, if you know what that means on a 2-point loss, that means the Bulls lost a lot of 50-50 balls.
Yep.
That's exactly what anybody that wants to dispute that, you can't. Because that's exactly what that means. And then the last game, they ran into a buzzsaw. No Zach. Memphis is coming in on I think a 12 game, 11 or 12 game
13
winning streak.
now.
13 now?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought didn't they lose or no?
No.
They lost.
They still have.
They lost by 13, but they also lost the rebound of 48-43, which is a little bit better. That was the game I think Io was like 90% shooting with like 22, 21 points, whatever. But let me dig a little deeper like I normally do. That game 1 against Brooklyn, Lonzo Ball was the leading rebounder with 7. Game 2, the 42-point blowout to Golden State. Vooch was the leading rebounder with 14. But as you see, shooting was low and nobody else did anything. Game 3, remember, that was Boston. 50-32, Boston out-rebounded us. The leading rebounder for the Bulls was DeMar DeRozan with 8. Jeez. Game 4 against Golden State, against the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Io had 10 rebounds.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Vooch had 10.
Vooch had 10, and Hill had 8 off the bench too.
Off the bench.
Yeah.
But for your backup point guard to have just as many rebounds as your starting center, that's a little telling to me.
Very.
So on my full court press, I'm going to say this. As enamored as we were with the Bulls' success, mounting those 9-game wins, DeMar DeRozan hitting game winner after game winner after game winner, Zach 25 points a game, DeMar 26 points a game. What does that all say when we go against these bigger teams?
We haven't even won against yet.
We're struggling in rebounding. We're struggling in defensive efficiency.
Yep.
All that equates to what? We don't have enough bigs. The floor is yours, gentlemen.
AB, you can go ahead and go.
You want me to go? I mean,
I'm probably gonna go on a little tangent.
He doesn't really need me to go because JB and I have been lockstep on this for quite some time now. We've been saying this since the last time us three got together and argued about it. We need more bigs. You've got so many, mid, 6'7", 6'6" guys playing bigs. It's gonna catch up with you. We haven't even got to Milwaukee yet. We haven't even played Brook Lopez and played Giannis and those guys. And
we struggle with Cleveland.
We couldn't even exactly.
And
that's when all this started for me.
And they're big.
Whenever we played Cleveland and they were beating us down inside, I went on Facebook and said, "You can't get beat by Cleveland like this." And then I got destroyed because Cleveland. No, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is the way they lost the game.
Correct.
The way they lost the game was with bigs, just beating the shit out of us down low, constantly overworking us for offensive rebounds, overworking us on that end. It's got to stop. And there's only one way. We've got to make a trade. There's no way that this team, and now I think it's all kind of been, shown to us. There's no way that we can consistently win against bigs in the playoffs. What happens when the Sixers come to town?
The game, first of all,
twice.
Well, wait. First of all, a lot of people don't remember this. In the playoffs, the game slows down.
Yes.
And it becomes a half-court game, which means it's more old school.
It's going to be worse.
Thank you. It's going to be worse. A lot of people, I just told you a stat that is so telling. Boston beat the Bulls by 2 points.
Yeah.
But they out-rebounded us 50-32, which meant Boston was getting all the 50-50 balls.
Yes.
That's exactly like there's no argument. Anybody that wants to come on the show and try to belay that point, there's no argument there. When you have that decisive of almost, that's 18 plus in the rebounding category, and you won by 2 points, that's nothing but rebounding. Nothing but rebounding. And on the offensive side at that.
Yeah.
Fellas, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk.
Well, see, tell the truth, you want to go to the Brooklyn game, I'll do you better. I'll take you 2 games before the Brooklyn game.
Go ahead.
Actually, it really showed itself during that Mavericks game.
Yeah.
Oh, I can.
And
Yeah.
tell you the truth, what's really sad about it, Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan has.
You're going to go down this road.
Billy Donovan hasn't adjusted. And he came out and said it. I think it was after the Golden State game, he came out and said that he had to do better as far as with adjustments. Because if you notice in the beginning of the year, there was plenty of ball movement.
Correct.
Yeah.
The ball was moving all over the place. Guys, actually, they were fast breaking. You know, it was good continuity. Like, I think everybody was surprised, even the Bulls themselves, how well they were gelling together. And then within that, they beat some pretty good teams as well. It was
absolutely.
Like beating scrub teams. They were beating some of the top teams in the NBA.
Including they beat Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Twice.
So when I'm sitting up there, when I'm watching that Dallas game, one thing that I'm noticing and that I've noticed for a minute is that ever since the conversation has came up about DeMar DeRozan being an MVP candidate, it seems like the whole Florida offense is completely changed. And one thing that I noticed in that Dallas game, one thing that I noticed in that Brooklyn game, one thing that I noticed in that Golden State game is that the ball is being stuck in his hand.
ISO ball.
ISO ball, exactly. ISO ball. And what they're doing is that they know what DeMar is going to do. DeMar's turning into the black hole now. He's bringing the ball up, which is one thing he shouldn't be doing. Lonzo's your point guard. Let him run the team.
Yep.
You got DeMar bringing the ball up. I saw it may have been that Brooklyn game where they started trapping him once he got past half court. Why you even got him bringing the ball up? I don't
remember they took Lonzo out and put in Kobe White.
Yeah. So now they're sitting up there. Now, I didn't like the fact that Billy Donovan, you got to quit having Vooch go up there and set the picks. Because all you doing is setting him up where he's setting the picks. The guy either goes and shoots it back out there to Vooch for a 3 or the little 2-pointer right there. Let that big man work in the post. Let him get the ball in the post. Let him get some work in there. So therefore, when they have to come and double team, you can pass it right out to one of your shooters. Easy shot.
Let me get you
now
one
they're
better,
clogging
Chris.
up the lanes.
Let me do you one better, which if you really dig deep into the stats, how about you get the ball to Vooch in favorable positions late in the shot clock so you can get more fouls? The Bulls don't go to the line a lot. They don't.
DeMar does.
DeMar.
I said
the
Bulls.
See? But the crazy part, that's because he pump faking about 10 times.
and I'm not saying like everybody out there, we love what DeMar is doing. Is he MVP caliber? Yes. Are there some deficiencies that they're going to cause them to, if they were the number 1 seed right now going into the playoffs, and let's say they beat whoever the 8th seed might be, y'all can check this. 8th seed is probably who? The Knicks, Atlanta.
Well,
the Knicks actually just lost to the Timberwolves
so right
by
now,
Mr. Karl Anthony Towns at a game winner.
Yeah. So, it's still the 10 teams, right? They still got that going.
Well, remember the playing, right. But I'm just going off a normal 1 through 8.
Right now, you got the Raptors, that's number 9, and the Celtics, that's number 10. Hornets is 7, and Wizards is 8.
So, okay, perfect. Right now, it's presently constructed. If the Bulls lost to the Wizards, in the first round. Would y'all be surprised?
Oh yeah. The Wizards, I would, if they're healthy. As long as we're completely healthy, yes. If we weren't and we're kind of like we are right now, I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
No.
So let me tell you why. Washington has some bigs.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
So in a smaller half-court game, and I got to play you at minimum 4 times. At minimum 4 times. I can see the Bulls struggling. Not saying they would lose.
It depends on what kind of ball they play, though.
But I can see them struggling.
Definitely.
Because they got Gafford. He's their center. Gafford is just a straight energy guy. And then who they got power for? Kuzma?
Because remember, they go between Kuzma. They have Hachimura coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I would take that lineup. I'll take that matchup because neither one of them guys gonna go down low. And you got
Gafford will go down low. That's the only difference. Gafford will.
No. I'm talking about as far as they power forwards. I know Gafford has no choice but to go down low.
Well, Hachimura's he's that hybrid. He's that hybrid. Right, but he's a Tony Bradley.
Thomas Bradley. Yeah, he's Tony Bradley. Yeah.
Which is fine.
He's just a body filler, man.
Yeah.
He's tall, he's long. But my point being is this: if they slowed that game down, of which we already know Billy Donovan has trouble adjusting, I could see Washington pushing that to 6 or 7 games.
Most definitely. Especially if you've got a DeMar playing hero ball. You know, we all love him. God rest his soul. He imitates his game after Kobe Bryant almost to a fault.
There was
a lot of times whenever Kobe would be shooting the ball way too much, they'd be knocking him over there in LA for shooting.
Hey,
the ball
can you say Toronto Raptors 2.0?
I might be back to that kind of thing if that's what you don't want to say, but that's kind of what we're getting towards, JB. Ever since, just like you said, ever since they've said that he's in the MVP, ever since he started making those game winners
for this reason, because he's got a Zach and he's got a Vooch. That's the only reason I said I didn't want to go there with him just now.
But the thing was this: he also had a Kyle Lowry, and then he had a Valanciunas. And tell you the truth, when it really came down to it, one reason why that Toronto team was so unsuccessful was because for the simple fact that the only people that sit up there and pass the ball to each other was Lowry and DeMar. They passed it to one another.
They had a 2-man game that was not efficient.
They had a big man that had an easy advantage down there in the post all the time. Valanciunas is a very good center, but
he's a traditional. But if you go a little bit before that, they were still in the same. Remember, you had Vince, you had Tracy, 2-man game that went out. You had what's my man name that just won the championship?
Yeah, but they never had a big man.
Bobby Portis?
No. Kawhi and
Siakam?
Pascal Siakam. So their game has always been predicated on a 2-man front. Okay. That's just what Toronto's coach does. No matter if it was Mitchell or whoever they have now, that's just kind of what Toronto does. But I will say this to that. If you have what's presently constructed, Billy Donovan's number one adjustment needs to be learn how to pace. Learn how to pace. Because when you start getting out of sorts and getting erratic, that's how all these runs. Go back to the Brooklyn game. Late in the third quarter, it was tied 71-71. Y'all watched the same game I did.
Yep.
Then it blew up to, what was it, 128 or 138, whatever it was?
Got boat raced, man.
Thank you. But if you watch the game, he did not make necessary adjustments. He's trying to still fast break against a team that's already fast breaking.
But that's why I said he did that. That's why I went back to the Dallas Mavericks game, because that's the same thing that they did. They start clogging up the lanes the same way that Brooklyn did, the same way that Golden State did, making the Bulls turn the ball over, sitting up there, DeMar trying to play hero ball.
Ironically, if I'm not mistaken, after that Dallas game, didn't they get rid of Willie Cauley-Stein?
They just did like 3 days ago.
Well, I think he has something going on with him, personal. So
no, they actually got rid of him because they wanted to sign Marquise Chris.
I thought it was a cap dump.
I don't think Willie
That's what I thought it was.
playing. If I read
He
it,
might not have been. Yeah.
I think he has some type of personal issues going on, so they just really just got rid of him. Period.
Yeah. Apparently, they're still backing him. Oh yeah, he hasn't played. Oh geez, wow, It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
I think it's something, some type of personal issues that he was going through, or that he may still be going through. That's the reason why they sit up there and released him.
So if he's okay up here, I wouldn't mind the Bulls kicking the tires on him.
I would take him in a red.
We need some help down low, fellas.
I mean, I would if he's okay up here. He still wouldn't be what we need to get over the hump, but he would definitely add some height and some rebounding.
Thank you. If you get a Willie Cauley-Stein, you're looking for defense, you're looking for presence, and you're looking for rebounds. That's it.
Offensive rebounding underneath.
Thank you. Anything else is a bonus.
That's all you need from
because if you go with Javonte Green as a 6'4" power forward, hey, he's not PJ Tucker, y'all. He's not.
Hey, I got a feeling we play Cleveland. What's that, tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah. He's supposed to be back too. I'm pretty sure him and Caruso are in the G League right now.
I don't care.
And they're supposed to be back tomorrow.
They got 3 7-footers that they can throw, that they throwing out there in that star lineup.
Yep.
And it's gonna be
Jared Allen,
battle.
Mobley, and Lauri Markkanen. And oh my Lord,
that is a team that if I'm in the Eastern Conference,
I don't want
to see them.
I actually heard a rumor today that LeBron was talking about maybe going back there because he likes the team.
He gonna get rid of all the young players.
No, they gonna trade LeBron.
He's gonna tell him that he likes him and go back and
they gonna trade LeBron for Kevin Love.
I love it. I love it. But maybe Zach LaVine might come back too. I know that they were gonna reassess.
Well, his MRI was negative, so that's good.
So we haven't heard since. I know he was supposed to be out these road games, but we're coming back home, right? So is he gonna play? That's another big part because man, if Zach LaVine isn't there, DeMar has a problem. Him and Vooch, it's odd to me because they both played together too. He's the reason that DeMar came here was because of Vooch. And there's times where I watch them two play together and I'm just scratching my head. Like, how are these two not better together?
Hey, B. Vooch, I'm going to be honest with you. And Chris, we argued about this last year. Remember, I told you it was going to change. Vooch is a lost component in a Billy Donovan system.
He is.
Billy Donovan's system has never been predicated on a scoring center. A lot of people be like, and this is where I tell people you don't watch basketball. Man, Billy Donovan brought the Oklahoma City Thunder to the finals. No, he didn't. That was Scott Brooks. That was not Billy Donovan. The next year, think about it, Chris. The next year, he had a successful. Then after that, every year with the Oklahoma City Thunder, Billy Donovan's record has decreased.
Yeah.
And I know this damn near verbatim, maybe, because when Scott Brooks came, remember, that was Russell Westbrook, that was Kevin Durant, and that was James Harden, and that was Serge Ibaka. That was a all drafted super team.
Yeah. That unfortunately had to break up.
They had a 3-1 lead on Golden State. Remember? Look it up.
No, I don't have to.
They got back swept. But here we go again. Give the credit to the coach who actually did it. It was Scott Brooks.
The only
a lot of people don't remember that.
Yeah, the only reason they brought Billy Donovan in was because he was the hot name at the time, and they wanted to change the offense to try to, play to some of their strengths that they didn't think Brooks was getting out of him. And I thought it was a great move at the time. I thought Billy did a good job with those guys. I thought Billy did a better job when he had Chris Paul.
Something
a couple years ago. I
so
thought he did better than coaching.
I'm gonna give you 2 points because I want to move on to some Bears talk.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna move.
Here's my 2 points. One, when Billy Donovan left Florida, he won 2 national championships, right?
Yep.
Noah, Horford, Corey Brewer, and all them boys. Great. The first job he was offered was the Orlando Magic job. Remember that, fellas?
Yep.
Took the Oklahoma City Thunder job. Was basically given a championship caliber team. his philosophy did not allow them to get over the hump. When he got Chris Paul, this is my second point. I'm actually giving more credit to Chris Paul for making that team relevant than Billy Donovan.
Yeah.
Because when Billy Donovan had better players, he seemed to do less.
Yeah, but he had a better point guard. And that's what his offense was predicated in, was the point guard play. And that's why I think he did a better coaching job with that team because, yes, he didn't have everything he needed, JP, but he had the point guard he wanted.
Okay, I'll give you that he wanted. But if you go back, Chris, fact check me on this.
Russell Westbrook is not a point guard.
Torian Prince, was he that Florida point guard?
He was, I believe so. I believe he was the Florida point
because
guard.
We remember the killers on that team because Brad Beal did go to Florida, but he's after.
Yeah.
It was Noah, it was Horford, and it was Corey Brewer.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's who made that team go.
That's
he
true.
kind of similarly had that with KD, Russ, and Harden. So it wasn't that dissimilar. He didn't have his Al Horford. He tried to get Ibaka to do such. It didn't work. He brought in Steven Adams, rebound, block shots. That's all he did. Didn't work.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we talking about, to me, an average coach. And now we got to sit up here and get on these beds and hope they don't sit up there and hire an average coach.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Because
that don't stand for Avengers. Look, let me drink all my little.
They not looking good, man. They not. This whole offseason with the lineup of GMs that they got, the lineups of coaches that they got, what are they seriously gonna do? Because all I'm hearing about is these coaches that they're interviewing and then a GM here or there.
So Farmoff, you kind of agree with me, like they gotta lay in line for the coaching like you at Great America. It's so many people.
Well,
I'm confused.
Okay, all right. So we're in my wheelhouse now. So let me take this one. Okay, so this is preliminary. They're not necessarily going to just hire a coach, but they want to lay the groundwork and speak on these guys so they get a better idea of what they're looking for. So they might have someone in mind, and then they bring the GM in. And this is the problem with this. This is what worries me, is that they're going to bring in a GM, and if they have in their head that they've already decided what coach they want, and the GM that should be on this whole organization might not like that coach, they might not give him the job, and that's what I'm concerned with on this.
Isn't that backwards, AB?
What organization are we talking about, JB?
No, it's definitely backwards. That's the whole thing I'm worried about with this whole search. I'm hoping that's not the way that they're thinking. Hopefully, they're just doing preliminaries. They're just getting these guys in here. They're talking to them. They're learning about their team, because that's one thing that is the most beneficial about them really speaking to all these candidates, is that you're going to learn about your team. You're going to learn what other people and what other organizations think about your team.
So
and that's
their assessment is actually more important than the in-house assessment.
Absolutely, it is, because all this does is open up your mind to what other people around the league are thinking and saying about your team, especially from good organizations like the Buffalo Bills, for example. They're bringing in Omar Khan from the Steelers, winning organizations now that have learned and grown and gotten better, something that we still haven't done. So maybe they're going to take this to heart. That's my hope. That's my prayer on this. I hope it's that and not the other thing I'm thinking here, where it's, well, if they have a guy that they fall in love with, if there's a GM that doesn't like the guy that they like, you might not get the job, which is the wrong call. You got to start from the top down.
And that's why I said earlier.
Question. I'm gonna ask y'all both one question.
Go ahead.
Let's just say you guys are the GM of the Chicago Bears.
Oh,
I mean,
Lord.
You're the owner. I'm sorry, the owner of the Chicago.
I'm the owner.
I'm George or I'm Virginia?
Hiring my whole family.
I don't really like George. We're just gonna say you Virginia.
Oh, sweet Virginia.
Yeah.
So a 99-year-old woman. Okay.
Right. So are you going to hire? How many interviews are you going to have? All right. Like, let's say you have a candidate that you like. Are you just gonna go off of that one interview, or you gonna bring them in for a second interview? And this is
You have to have a second.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Now, because there's teams out there, and this is what's sort of worrying me about the Bears. There's teams out there right now that probably already have a GM in place or a president or whatnot. I don't think they're going to give coaches second interviews. I think they're going to snatch these coaches up. I think the Bears are doing such a bad job right now because it seems like there's more emphasis on trying to find this coach than trying to find this GM.
Well, they are doing interviews this week again, and
yeah, but they already did some as well.
They've already done some coaching ones, yes.
But that's what's worrying.
It's just kind of how it's laid out. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's by design. I think that's just how this has happened.
Well, a lot of it is because some of the people they're interested in are actually on playoff teams.
Yeah,
that has a lot to do with it. One, two. With the interview process, though, as far as GMs is concerned, there is no mandate for them. They can interview those people whenever. And because most of the GMs that they're looking at are actually, besides Omar Khan, who just lost last week, most of them were already out the playoffs.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying. That's why I think they should be getting in a lot of GMs because I hear about, what's his name, Rick Smith?
Rick
Smith. Going to be this week.
Yeah,
that's this Thursday, right?
I thought they should have been brought him in because for the simple fact he hasn't been with an organization.
No, but we don't know what his schedule
got going
is.
on too.
We don't know what their schedule was going in. It's kind of hard to really gauge that without knowing what's going on with inside, So they might have wanted him in earlier, but they might not have necessarily been able to. The thing, if I'm the owner, is first and foremost, this would have happened last year. I mean, let's be honest. But I like to fire them earlier than at the end of the season because it gives you that leg up to really start building and prepping and getting everything ready. And that's the problem with this. It's not just us. See, it's not. The Giants are slow in this process. The Dolphins are. I've actually noticed it being more slow. If you go back, a few years, I think when Nagy got picked, it was around this time. It was around right after the wild card game.
The fastest one I saw was John Gruden and Mike Mayock. That was the fastest one I saw.
That's because they had that in their brains for a long
Correct.
time. The Raiders just
look
get
what
stuck on
organization
things.
I think Mark Davis. I think Mark Davis had that already.
Mark Davis has been playing that for months, but I think this is a different kind of offseason where everyone's taking their time a little more on this. I don't think you're going to be worrying about that as fast as you have in the past. There's just so many people doing their homework, and there's so many jobs right now that are open. And even these candidates are probably thinking the same thing. There's a lot of good guys in this field right now. Let's just let the market kind of set the tone for us and just slowly try to decide where we want to end up. And for me, that's a good thing because that means next week we can start bringing in second interviews again, or
if they're
hopefully
doing
have the
their
GM by
due
Monday.
diligence, yes. But let me ask you this, because right now, old cliches, right? The early bird gets the worm.
Sometimes.
But we had a what is his name? Maybe an in-house guy that blew away.
Hang on.
Bears management as a GM.
Philip.
He's in-house. He's an in-house guy.
Yeah.
You talking about right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this happened like last Thursday or Wednesday or something. Absolutely.
I think I know who you're talking about.
It's shit. Hang on, I'll look it up. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I knew it, but
I
then
just
it
forgot it.
Yeah, I know the guy that you sitting up there that you're talking about. They've been talking about him for a minute. I think he's actually was he the assistant GM under Ryan Pace or something?
I thought he was direct.
That would be Champ Kelly, assistant director of player personnel.
Personnel.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking of here.
Yeah. Champ
So
Kelly.
they have that guy who they
Thank you,
said.
Scott Hopkins.
Yes, thank you, Scott. They had that guy who reportedly blew the doors off the interview, who's been in the house for some time.
And so you didn't know that before?
If you, yes, Oliver, it is a very attractive job. But my point being is this: if you had that guy in house all this time, and your short list does not include that guy, what are we spinning our wheels for? Because I want that GM in place before the coach. I really do.
I think we all do. I think the whole Bears nation wants that GM before that coach. But we are talking about
not the
smartest owner.
But that guy, Chip Kelly, knows this group of Bears better than anybody they can bring in.
Yeah. But that's not Bill Polian's list. And they're probably doing it by the book. They're going down Bill Polian's list. They're going to do every single guy because that's just.
And they're asking them, have you read
Bill Polian's book? Oh, God, no. And I don't plan on it anytime soon.
No. I'm talking about that's what they're asking the candidates. Have you read Bill Polian's book?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. Well, you can go ahead. All right, meeting's over.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what worries me is that if they find somebody
are we talking about Bill Polian?
Because he's the guy that he's trained for this whole.
He's
the conductor.
An overrated consultant who's out of touch. That's one. Two, if he goes against anybody that's in-house, more innovative, more up-to-date, that's going to be a conflict of interest to any GM or coach that you hire.
Yeah.
So that might not be the guy that I want to put all my eggs in his basket. It really might not be that guy.
No. And JB, we've already went through this. Whenever they had Ernie Accorsi come in here,
they hired Ryan Pace.
But guess what they did?
To pay Ernie.
They made Ryan Pace take John Fox. So you already started off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
It's the same thing again. It's the same song and dance that we've seen. It's not going to change until we get these guys out of here. Or hopefully they can get a Rick Smith. They can get an Elliott Wolf. They can get an Omar Khan. One of these names for me is essential.
Dobbs, that's
I've heard a lot about Dobbs.
I like Dobbs. I like Dobbs.
Apparently, Dobbs is a guy. He's a no nonsense guy too. He definitely doesn't like to be challenged on things. I actually watched an interview with one of the beat reporters for the Colts, and he was talking about Dobbs and about how scouting, drafting was something he was very emphatic with. They had a particular player, I can't remember his name now, that he wanted to get at, I think, right or left tackle. And they're like, you're crazy. We already have our starting guy. He's like, this is going to be the guy who is going to take that position. I promise you that. They end up taking the guy, and he's still their tackle. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's very emphatic with his choices. He has conviction with his choices. It sounds like
that's what I like. Be confident in what
the only thing that
I'm just nervous about that because I don't want him to start trading. You know how that works.
Yeah, right? But they can't trade right now. They can't.
No.
I don't mind him being that way. I just, you still at the end of the day, you want someone that can sit up there that will listen to other people. You don't want a guy where he's just like hell bent on, all right, look here, it's my way. This the guy I want. This is who we're going to get. I don't care what nobody else say. I don't want a person like that, because that sort of tends to ruffle feathers.
I think
that means that's a very stubborn person. And tell you the truth, honestly, I think we just had that in a head coach.
We had that in Pace too, because remember, a lot of his scouting department told him not to draft Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a Virginia call too.
I honestly think you need a yin and a yang on this whole situation.
Absolutely.
You need to have a guy that has conviction and knows what he wants, but you also have to have a coach that knows what he wants too, but they need to be able to kind of coincide together and build what we need to build with this. And that's been the problem since day one. Since I can remember, and anybody please tell me if I'm wrong. Can you name me a time where the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback were all on the same page?
In Bears history?
In Bears history.
Bueller.
I love that.
You knew I was going to get it eventually.
I love Ben Stein. I love it. Yes. I'm gonna say, well, in recent Bears history, AB, I'm gonna say one time when everybody was on the same page. That's when Angelo had Lovey and Mike. Was it Angelo or Emery? Had Lovey and Mike Marks. That is one time when everybody.
I said
was on the same page.
QB. He said the QB though.
I said QB, GM, and head coach.
Yeah, that ain't happening because we all know Cutler was an a-hole.
But
It never happened.
1 year with Lovey, I think it was the 13-3 season. The Bears were number 2 in total offense, so it kind of happened.
Running the ball.
Kind of happened.
Was that the Thomas Jones running?
I'm grasping at straws here. You're not giving me much.
I can't, man.
They were number 2 in offense.
There's no way that it's. Yeah, but did they win anything? No.
They were 13-3. We'll take it.
No, that's not good enough. And I don't think that's. I think that's lightning in a bottle. I think that they just hit that year.
You're right, Oliver.
Oliver's got it right here. We need president of football operations, GM, Bricks.
But George is not going to allow that to happen.
But hear me out on that. So that's exactly why I'm saying these 3 names. That's why I'm saying Rick Smith. That's why I'm saying Elliott Wolf. That's why I'm saying Omar Khan. Because all of these guys have past experiences in the business side and the football side.
Correct. Yes.
So if you get one of these guys who they're now going to report to Georgie, they can have Georgie's ear.
And that eliminates Ted Phillips.
That eliminates Ted Phillips' whole don't get me started.
Well, the gospel, according to George, is that Ted is not going to be sitting up there dealing with that anyway.
Supposedly, he might be retiring next year. That's the supposed word that we hear. He might be retiring sooner than later, and he's going to need a guy. So what better guy than one of these GMs that I named, who should literally already be applying for the president job anyway? So if you get one of them in here, you immediately have George cling to that guy because he has no one else to cling to anymore. So he's going to have to start making decisions. I feel like Georgie is the most impressionable owner in football. I think
he's Carter Pewterschmidt.
He is literally Carter Pewterschmidt. That's a good one. I love it. Like, he's literally that. Like, you can really talk this guy into anything as long as you've got conviction and as long as you sound solid with what you believe to be true. He said Ted Phillips is a football guy. He said that. He said he trusts him. If Ted Phillips can get your trust, then I know that one of these guys can. I know.
I damn near want to apply for the job now.
That's all I'm saying is that if we land one of these names, we have a shot because they are going to have the opportunity to get in Georgie's ear. And hopefully he can get his own coach who can follow suit with him.
Well, I think George is so incompetent that's why he's bringing in a Bill Polian to sit up there and basically, I don't even think George at the end of the day is going to make this determination. I think it's going to actually be Bill Polian that's going to sit up there and tell him who.
And that scares me, Chris. That scares me.
And hire as the GM and possibly the head coach as well.
That's what really our buddy Hunter was on the show on
Hunter Lorenz, yes.
Yeah, Hunter Lorenz. He said literally that. He said that he thinks he wants somebody to blame. He wants somebody to blame for all the mistakes because, I didn't pick him. I'm just a fan. Well, guess what?
I'm not an evaluator.
Yeah. Not doing it with me.
But my dumb ass gonna be sitting up here picking the next GM. Oh yeah. Oh, Ted, he's going to be doing the business side. Well, who's going to be in there when you're interviewing? Oh, well.
Hey, Oliver said Georgia is just a figurehead, but she's listed as the secretary.
Right. Everybody that he sits up there says is not going to be a part of it is going to end up being in the interview room.
Well, we already knew that. Like, it's a family affair. We already across the board.
Yeah.
But the thing, fellas, here's what you got to remember: 1, 2, and 3. The Bears are in a position of where they've been multiple times, but feel they've never been before because we've never had this type of action. 2, the Bears are also in a position where they have a superstar in waiting and just need to bring somebody in to cultivate that talent. That has not happened before. And 3, if you remember what every Bears every Bears coach has ever said coming into it, we need to beat Green Bay.
Well, not all of them have said it, but they all should. We all remember
the majority
Lovie
of the
Smith
ones that
being
we
that
actually
guy.
got behind.
Yeah,
said.
like Lovie Smith. That if anything about Lovie Smith will resonate in history about Lovie Smith is that
It
the
was
first thing I heard
that
about him,
first
the
prayer conference.
first day. I haven't
Beat
heard
Green
it since.
Bay.
I haven't heard it with that much conviction and just, like he spoke it into existence just by talking about it.
Absolutely.
His confidence on his face, the way he carried a team, he was the leader of men, and we need the same thing. So, see, if you're picking a coach, who are you picking?
Good question, AB.
If I'm the GM, who I'm gonna pick as the coach.
Any name out there, you can name
To
anybody.
me, it's really between two guys. I like Brian Flores, and
how can you not?
And probably Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles, okay.
Yeah, but if we want to go, and we could just wrap it up like this, you know what I'm saying? Each one of us can say it, and so we can get this on and over with. My GM, if it's up to me, my GM, Rick Smith. My coach, Brian Flores. Just like that.
JB?
So, I've been doing this for quite some time. I was a very, very pro Louis Riddick guy.
Yeah.
But as I looked at Elliott Wolf,
I think I kind of helped you out of that one.
You did.
I kind of pushed him out of that one.
And again,
he saying Mustapher, get him out.
Look,
no.
I listen, and I filter.
Yeah.
So I'm between Elliott Wolf personally. I like Champ Kelly, but I don't know what internally he's done.
Yeah.
But give me an Elliott Wolf or Rick Smith as my GM.
Mm-hmm.
My head coach, I'm literally Flores, Bowles, Frazier. OC, Jim Caldwell, no holds barred. That's the guy. Defensive coordinator, I'd like to see Rex Ryan. Special teams, I would like Dave Tobe and give him a raise.
You ain't gonna get that either. Dream team, but no, man, it ain't gonna go.
Rex Ryan for the right price might come out.
Rex Ryan, I watched Get Up, and he said that's not happening. Basically,
so he also said if the Chiefs called and offered him the right, he'd go to. So
he wants to go to a winning program. He doesn't want to rebuild.
Yeah, he wants to go to a place where he know the offense can cover up his ass if the defense stinks. That's what he wants.
Exactly.
Well,
110%. 110%. But yeah, that's kind of the way I go. I named you 3 GMs on a short list, and any one of those 3 are fine with me. All of them have business backgrounds. They've also have great football backgrounds. One of them, Elliott Wolf, is a Hall of Fame father who was a GM that ripped our hearts out for years with the Green Bay Packers. The guy is a free consultant for him. So that'd be crazy not to look at. But for me, if it's 1 through 3, I'm going Rick Smith, Omar Khan, and then Elliott Wolf for my 3. And the coaching, it's kind of the same. Like I'm not really gonna dwell over the names yet until I know what GM is in-house, and I want him to pick his guy that he wants. I don't want to pick my guy. I want the GM. I know that's a safe thing to say, but Flores for me, he's got to be the one for me. I mean, the guy, for everybody who wants a Jim Harbaugh, he's already on the market right here, and his name is Brian Flores. He's ruffled feathers in front offices because of his passion and what he believes in. And that's exactly what we need. We need to change the narrative of this team. We need to change things going forward. And a guy like Brian Flores, who's not afraid to say what he thinks about any situation, and supposedly also likes Justin Fields already, supposedly.
Most famously, I don't want Tua, I want Justin Herbert. Most famously.
Yes.
And he was not wrong.
Evaluator. He's an evaluator who knows how to actually pick good players. I mean, he brought the Dolphins from the barrel bottom of the league, the laughing stock, to what they were, 2 winning seasons. I mean, you can't tell me that doesn't impress anyone, especially in the Dolphins. Imagine what he can do here with a Justin Fields, with some key pieces, hopefully the offensive line holding good. The only thing that bothers me about him is that he didn't get that offensive growth. But can you attest that to a Tua? Like, is that how you look at that? There's a reason.
In this situation, you can't, because look at what they did when Ryan Fitzpatrick was rolling.
That's the other thing that bothers me, is that he did this whole switch hitter thing. I don't like that. I don't want him coming in here and going, oh, Fields, nope. And then he's going to go back and forth.
Yeah, ride whoever's hot. Right.
We've done enough of that. We don't need it anymore. Like, get that shit out of here. We need a guy who's going to have conviction. And it sounds like he likes Justin Fields. And from what I heard, they're blown away by him. Apparently, he did great at his interview, and he's definitely getting another one. So hopefully that's something we can hang our hat on. But you got to get the GM. You've got to get the GM. But I don't know very many GMs who aren't going to be on board that are real football guys that understand that whole situation and go, I can win with a Brian Flores, because I know he's going to run his offense. He wants his guys, and that's how he's going to run shit. And he's not going to hold anything back. Yin yang.
I just want to say this.
Yin yang.
Yeah, all right, JB, you got last word.
Well, I just want to say this to some of our people that have been chiming in, not on here, but on social media. We're not trading Justin Fields for Deshaun Watson.
God.
Like, everybody keeps saying that. Like, that's been like the ongoing.
Bear Fans with a Brain Facebook group is being taken over by people.
I understand
who think this.
I understand Brian Flores came out and said he would love to play with Deshaun Watson.
Who wouldn't?
But what are we coming to this Bears situation with 5 draft picks, 5 in this upcoming draft, and no first round picks? What are we trading for? We're not trading Justin for Deshaun straight up. It's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
This ain't John Madden football. Y'all have to start living in the real world. That's never going to happen. So if Brian Flores wants to come here, he's going to deal with Justin Fields. Let's get that. Let's belay that point. Get that first and foremost out your head.
True,
and not
true.
Trading it. Like, stop.
True. So let's go ahead and get these shout outs in. JB, you are my man. You first up, baby.
So I just want to take a great honor to talk to Mr. Ervin Small. We had a real good stroll down memory lane. A lot of things that I forgot and remembered, like, wow, those teams, the Fighting Illini teams, were hellacious. Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that came in, new and old, that came out and told us, hey, this is the place we want to be. Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. Love y'all. Thank you. Shout out to Mom. Shout out to SB. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you, Chris. First time coming on. You're doing a fabulous job. To my brother, AB. Always love.
Always.
And to Remy Martin, because God damn it, I feel good.
Hey, baby.
I feel the same. I wish I'd have had some of my Crown Peach today for this show, because I'm not feeling as good as you are, but oh well. Shout out to Bud Light, I guess. But no, shout out to these fans. We had some new ones in here tonight, guys. Appreciate it as always. You know how we are here. You guys come first and foremost. We do this for you. Thank you. Our buddy Foul Mouth C in here, holding it down, representing. Much love to you, man. We can't wait to work with you. It's only going to get better from here, man. It's only going to get better. Absolutely. Ervin Small, Illini fangirl, and I was tonight. Love it, man. Great interview. Can't wait to do it again and bring up a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't get to talk about, man. And really, and also the lurker Terrence, wherever that lurker may be. Shout out.
Terrence is the lurker now?
He's in the back lurking. That's all I got, man.
Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to my boys AB, JB. Thank you guys once again for introducing me to this podcast. You know, it's always something that I wanted to do. Be on the podcast, talk sports with people that are actually knowledgeable about sports. You know,
we don't know shit.
Of course, we don't know shit. Shout out to all the new people that came into the chat, came and checked out the podcast. You know, we greatly appreciate it. Please come back.
We're going nowhere.
Same time, same bad channel. Shout out to our boy T Nick. Told us to keep it under. Shout out to family, friends, you know, all our family friends that come out here and support us. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna try to get my moms to watch it. I don't know, she might fall asleep. So she might go and fall asleep.
Wake up, Mom. Wake up.
Other than that, thank you guys for having us. See you next time.
You good?
We good.
Are we out?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
We out.
We out.
Later.
We out.
That's it.
Yeah, we done here.
We out. Okay, so we out.
If you're not watching this, flag on you.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production. We out.